All right, all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Christ, Yahweh Shai. It's your brother Chief Priest Alice Alban aka the Gorilla Hebrew. I'm here with my esteemed colleagues, Deacon Akar and Captain Tazamah Moth, here at y'all with another powerful situation room through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Situation room number 57. All right, so it's a beautiful thing.
Look, yeah, I'm fascinated. You can get schooled and graduated, decapitated. Scripture, my sword get lacerated. I'm agitated. Lanes in this game is saturated, extrapolated. When I send shots, get vaccinated. My wife's a lawyer, I could never lose a trial. I'm a king, I need my crown like after a root canal. Game over. Flamethrower, I blaze scoffers. Niggas dig my shit. Grave robbers. Freestyle in the master, catch a wreck, but it ain't free. I need an offer, and the pastor said it best. Nigga, I ain't after head and sex. I studied the Greek Septuagint and Masoretic text. You can get cut with the word I put against him. Red dot on his head like he practicing Hinduism. It's the apocalypse. Implement the Quran. If you thirsty, living water flowing down your esophagus. My people die, evil lies, trapped inside, ghetto time.
Hey, Deacon, you came with that one, boy.
Yeah, he did. He did.
You came with that one, boy. All right, it sounds like 613. This sounds like, what was that, 4 years ago, 5 years ago? Man.
Lord in Christ.
All right, yeah, I sent them the link. They should be assembling soon.
We got some brothers and sisters in Egypt we should be having on tonight, y'all.
And you know what? Here's the thing, right? So I think I misspoke. So I know one that's coming on is that he said he studies under the Amin Ra squad.
Okay.
So, but the rest of them, I'm not completely sure, but I know they're all not on the same page. They agree on no Bible. So
okay,
and they're coming from the perspective of Africa. So
okay,
you know, that's why I said Egypt earlier, but I know one of them for sure is under the Amin Ra squad, and more than likely he's probably going to be doing the most talking. So you're going to know exactly who I'm talking
about. Okay.
As far as the others, yeah. So one brother's coming on. He said he can prove that Yahweh Shai wasn't a Jew, or that there's a contradiction saying that one says he is not a Jew, another one says that he is a Jew. So I'm like, okay, let's see where he's gonna go with that one. As far as the rest of them, they want to know if we can prove why we feel the way we do. What exactly? I said that they can ask the question.
Yeah, you've misled them a little bit, because they're not going. They're going to have to answer a lot of questions before they can ask any questions.
All right,
I'm gonna say that first, but we'll answer some questions for sure. But it's a situation room, so we gonna razzle dazzle them a little bit.
Facts.
Sapar, never. You think who wants to go to cold ass Minnesota? Let's be real. Good God. Okay, we got somebody here.
So y'all, yeah, that's the uncle, self-professed uncle.
What's happening? How y'all doing?
We're doing okay.
Cool. Yeah, I got invited to come over here, so I'm just trying to see what we're talking about today.
Okay. Who else coming?
Look at this, though, Chief. Look at this thing.
What's that? What, Lily did that?
The wife made it up. Look at these fringes on that thing.
Yeah, that's pretty hard.
You know what I'm saying?
Look at the front.
The zip up. This is zip up. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you did a thing on that.
It's good for the arm game. You know what I mean?
You got that stretch leather.
Okay, I see it.
He's got that stretch leather.
I see it. I'm crazy. Hold on.
Kayal, was any of the other brothers gonna tag along? I know Adonis said he was coming, so he should have the link.
Oh, cut name Adonis.
Yeah. He's an Adonis as well.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I mean, they sent everybody a link at the same time, and I don't know.
I'm the first one to click.
I did. It's telling me to click browser.
Yeah. I'm gonna have those things for sale. That brew drip. You're right. I'm gonna be giving those away for a little to nothing, just on the game. When I say little to nothing, I mean $250.
You know, it's something real light and slight.
Something light.
Listen, the cold thing is they'll give it to the white man though.
Right.
That's the coldest thing about it.
There's a brother, one of these brothers out here got some Yahuwah shoes. He's selling the Yahuwahs.
Hey, listen, man. I don't know why you got the Most High name on your foot like that. I don't know if that was the right play, brother.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was
the most high is the top, not the bottom, brother.
Bottom, brother. Most High in Christ. Shout out to Rataziah in the chat. Andre Butler, y'all about you mention about that what the water came.
Hey, y'all mind if I ask y'all a question before we get started?
What's the question?
Like, are y'all? Is this a? I mean, I want to make sure I'm in the right spot for me. Are y'all trying to debate Egyptologists?
Well, that's kind of what was iterated to be by the brother Taz here. Then he just told as soon as we got started that all of y'all don't necessarily share the same ideology, so we could just, I mean, we just gonna deal with whatever everybody. We gonna meet everybody where they at.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
making
look,
in the
yeah,
right
look.
goddamn room.
Nah, look. So the situation went, well, like I said, Kyle, you literally just hopped on before I got off the chat call.
Yeah.
I iterated to the brother that Jeremiah expressed he studies under the Amun-Ra squad. So from that, the brother took it as, you know, they're Egyptologists. And like I said, the more that I speak to y'all brothers or that brother, I'll learn more about, you know, how he's not directly, you know, with Egypt, I guess, like they are. But he expressed to me that he's a student of the Amun-Ra squad, and that's how I related it to the brother. So that's how he took it as Egyptologist. Like I said, you just came on. I've been talking to these brothers for almost a week now.
Yeah. No doubt. I understand. Hey, I'm gonna be quiet when y'all talking about Egypt, but that's not my place. I'm not from there. So when we talk about, if y'all want to talk about West Africa, we can get down with the get down.
Right, yeah, because y'all position is that we're Central and West African, correct?
No doubt, absolutely.
Okay.
But lawyer, I see you over there having some teeth problem, huh? You better go to that dentist.
No, I'm over here with this Ricola, man. I'm trying to fight this cola, man. I got this Ricola.
That brother loves Ricola.
I finally got right, man. I had to get a couple cramps, man. I feel brand new. I feel like Mayweather right now.
I've been drinking so much Cold Buster. I'm about to turn into a ginger root in a second. Oh my goodness.
Get yourself some bitter leaf. You know, bitter leaf like soursop.
Mm-hmm.
Get you some of that, man. Some honey, man. You'll be good.
Yeah, that's why.
Hey, brother Ricky, if your donation didn't show up, then it didn't go through, brother. YouTube doesn't make mistakes on this.
On this end, huh? About somebody handing their ass some money, huh? Yeah, no, I only got Andre Butler and
it should be another brother named Jeremiah. Jeremiah's in there?
No, I'm talking about who's giving the donation. Hold on. Unless you send it on, what you send it on Cash App or something? It's Corey Dallas, the water. Yo, you're very crazy, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you one, y'all, Jediah. I'm gonna make one for all Sakari Dallas. Give you guys a bundle package with the Mitri to match.
Look, Soviets, you see it. That's how we coming. That's how we coming, baby. Yeah, this ginger tea. I'm gonna like this brother right though. I need that sour side. That's what I need.
Yeah, man.
Peace.
Here we go. Here go Jeremiah. You won't lie, brother.
This is Jeremiah Africa, huh?
Yeah, what's going on, brothers? Peace to you.
That's
Come on, brother.
the brother Amin Ra.
You said that's the brother who?
Amin Ra.
Why you calling me brother Amin Ra?
I was saying that's how I related to the brother that you study under the Amin Ra squad.
Nah, what I'm saying, I'm cool with those brothers. I'm cool with Unc. So, you know, a lot of things about science, I build with him and asking some stuff.
You didn't tell me that you study under the Amin Ra squad?
No, I never told you I study under them.
That you study them. You learn from the Amin Ra squad. That's your big homie.
Yeah, I learned some things, yeah.
Oh man.
Like I learned from other things.
All right, I misunderstood. Dude.
Yeah, you seem to misunderstand a lot. I misunderstand a lot, brother.
Hey.
Is that right?
Hey.
Nah, you good? No, he good. He good. He a cool brother, man. He a cool
You frozen. You frozen, yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
why
he's frozen.
I don't know why I'm froze.
Yeah, you're frozen. You're looking like right before the agents off the Matrix shapeshift.
I'm gonna go on.
Yeah, so I mean, even if he was misunderstood about your beliefs or what you subscribe to, we're gonna figure it all out right now. So
Yeah, like
you said my belief?
We gonna meet everybody wherever they at. Here we go. Got We got somebody else in here. Okay, we got. Oh God, man, why didn't they tell me she was coming?
Yes, sis. Yes, sis.
What's up?
Grand Rising team, we in here.
All those niggas.
It's kind of chipping on my end.
You good? What you want a phone?
It's chipping on my end. Is it because I'm using Safari? Like what's wrong?
It's that Bell Canada.
Oh, it's Canada.
Yeah. It's that
What's up, everybody?
What's up, African?
What happened?
Damn, it's chipping bad.
no, we're just waiting.
Sis, come in, go out and come back in.
All right.
It'll probably work for you. We're waiting for Cap to come back.
Man, these comments are going crazy right now.
Look, ain't even nothing happened yet.
Hey, where y'all sharing this at so I can look at the comments too?
Sakari Public Enemies. On the YouTube. Sakari Public Enemies.
Okay.
Hey, can
I bring one more heretic on here, man? He's a good brother. He's the rational heretic.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, Team Heretic, Grand Rising in here. I know what's going on.
Yeah, we just got off. I just got done with a world premiere. So this is right on time. What the?
First off, Chris about him. So Chris Harris is not invited in here. He already acted an ass last time he was in here, so he will not be allowed.
No. He's Chris. He's not the rational heretic, but he is a heretic though.
Yeah, he's Chris Heretic already got spanked, so and didn't know how to act. So he's lost all purpose.
Yeah, he got laid over the knee.
Well, he got laid over the knee when he still believed in the Bible. He stopped believing the Bible, came in here, got laid over the knee again. So yeah.
What y'all say y'all beat Chris up on? Because Chris is a heretic. If y'all beat him up, I'm gonna have to go talk to Chris. We don't get beat up.
Well, all you gotta do is go to his channel and go look when he came on dealing with the Exodus, and you can watch it yourself.
Oh yeah.
Who's that? Who just popped in there? Who's that?
That's Cap. That's Charles Lamont.
All right.
Yeah. No, I was trying to give my look like, yeah, I misunderstood it. But you said you was writing a book with Ngozi, then was He's the whole nine. I mean,
and Gozy been down in Amarasco for a minute though.
Mm-hmm.
And Gozy, that's my man though.
Yeah, it would be good. It's gonna take a minute though for that joint to get done.
Here we go. Who this? Okay. Adonis Creed.
What's good, Adonis?
Glaw Gang Jr. He might have to go out and come back in. Glaw Gang Jr.
he said Glog Gang.
Yo, what's up, Adonis?
He on my first, not my last.
Yeah, we can hear you, bro.
All right, bet.
You kind of low, but it's all good.
They said it's a party. It's a party going on.
Hold on, yeah. We can't. Look, real quick though. Way stream y'all works. You can't get more than 6 people on. So if y'all want, y'all gonna have to choose if y'all want y'all 3 or y'all want the sister to be able to get on, because everybody ain't gonna be able to be on.
But you know, I think they let us do it. Let's just try it. If not, then they're gonna have to rotate.
Okay.
Won't I? At a time.
All right. Well, I guess we can just get started. So
We'll get it started.
yes, sir. All right. So we got 3 brothers on here. Am I right to believe that you 3 brothers are coming from not necessarily the same unique perspective or the same exact perspective?
In regards to what?
I mean, in general.
So you're saying that we differentiate in different areas?
Yeah. Like, for example, myself and my 2 brothers on here, we come from the exact same perspective, right? So that's what I'm asking y'all about.
So
y'all.
nothing's different about what y'all say.
No, we all believe the same thing.
Oh, okay. You're talking about regards. I mean, I don't have a belief. I don't subscribe to a belief.
How old is the Earth?
Said how old is the Earth?
Uh-huh.
I was supposed. I mean, I don't know right off the top of my head right now, but I'm supposed a few billion.
Few billion. Okay, so you have a belief. There you go. So you do have beliefs, brother.
I don't have a belief, brother.
You do have a belief.
Said I don't. I said I don't know off the top of my head, but it's estimated a few billion.
Okay, so if you subscribe to that, then you have a belief.
I didn't subscribe to that. You just asked me a question.
Okay, so again, according to what you know or what you think you know, how old is the Earth?
I don't know for an exact answer.
Do you have any estimation? Yeah, we can't get her on. She just came in. I can't.
It's not letting you get her on.
No, we can't. We can't have more than 6 people on.
Hold on, I'm about to tell her. I'm gonna tell her real quick. Oh, y'all can continue. I'm just messaging sis real quick, letting her know.
Well, again, I just want to establish that all 3 of you guys do not have the exact same beliefs or understanding of things.
Yeah, I would say that we differentiate in some areas too.
Okay. Okay, so Captain, what led to them coming on the show tonight?
Well, really, it was to the sister, right? Just asked her a simple question. She directed me to these brothers. I've been talking to Jeremiah, the brother Jeremiah African right here for the most part. And the invite was pretty much directed towards him in terms of us solidifying the Bible. So it was a lot of questions that he had. I can't remember exactly what they were, but that was when the invite was extended. And you know, they accepted at that point. What exactly it was, like I said, they have a lot of objections to the Bible. You know, bring out you guys' objections and let's address it.
Well, first, before we address any objections with the Bible, This is the situation room. So how the situation room works is very simple. When you come into the situation room, you're on the hot seat, right? Not that we won't answer questions. We'd be glad to answer questions. But first, individuals who come on here will be put on the hot seat and they'll be asked questions about whatever they understand or what they believe, right? So this is why I'm asking y'all about y'all understanding, because first and foremost, you're going to get put under the microscope before you be afforded the luxury of asking any questions. That's just how this goes. Right. So this is why I need to understand where everybody's coming from. So everyone can get put under the microscope properly.
Okay.
Right. So I guess we can start with who you said, Cap, you said Jeremiah was the main brother you've been talking to?
Yeah, we can start with Jeremiah.
Okay. All right, Jeremiah. So I guess what's your worldview?
It's my worldview as far as like what though?
I mean, what about your worldview and your understanding that you've accumulated has led you to have a derogatory look towards the Bible? Let's just go there. So what about your worldview is kind of contrary to the biblical text?
The Bible neglects logic.
No. That's not what I asked you. See, this be the problem. Y'all know how to just talk about the Bible all you want.
No. I'm all right, okay. I must have misunderstood your question.
I'm asking you about what the knowledge that you've accumulated over the course of your life that's led you to be where it's at, and then why that is in contrast to the Bible. So not attack the Bible. Let's build. What are you about?
Okay, so through evolving mentally, I've understood a lot about life, or about what we call Earth and different things. I understand people. I understand that choices will be made. I understand that I understand how to navigate through life using logic, intellect, so on and so forth. I do understand that belief, or whatever we will call it, it's not conducive for somebody who's trying to navigate through their life correctly.
Okay,
right?
so let me ask you a question. You just said belief is not conducive for somebody to navigate to their life correctly, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so did Michael Jordan believe he can make it to the NBA?
You said that he believe?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the same context of belief we're talking about, though.
Okay, well, you just said that belief is not conducive for
So I'll
somebody
say
to
religious belief.
Okay, so now it's religious belief. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So in regards to that, we can point out a lot of instances in which people use their intelligent mind, and then people who don't, who allow something else to override the intelligence of their mind. So when it comes to me,
who are the richest people? What ethnic group is the richest people on the earth?
What you about to say, the Jewish people?
I mean, I'm asking you.
You know, I guess as far as we know.
As far as we know, Jewish people, right? So, is there a religious belief that they uphold and they interact with each other predicated upon that has allowed them or assisted them in obtaining and gaining the amount of riches that they have?
Not the exact same way that you might.
Well, I didn't say the exact same way. You didn't ask me, or you didn't make a statement in regards to any specific type of religious belief. You simply said religious belief. You said religious belief is not conducive for somebody to navigate through life.
So would you rather me say Abrahamic?
Well, even Abrahamic. You're talking about Judaism. That's Abrahamic. So I'm asking you about a group of people who follow an Abrahamic religion who have became through the tenets of that Abrahamic religion and how it's taught them to deal with each other, the most richest and the most powerful people on the earth. So
let's break down how they gain that position.
I'm just following. Hold on. It's not about breaking down how they gained that position, because there's several things that they did, but they have a unifying ideology religiously, right? That you said religiously, it's just not conducive. So I'm simply following what you're saying, and I'm just asking. Since you deal with logic, I'm asking the logical questions that are coming to my mind when you say, well, it's not conducive for somebody to use a religious belief to navigate through life. but then I automatically are going to get a light bulb and say, well, I know a group of people who have unified through a religious mindset, and it's been very conducive for them.
Are you saying that we should follow those people?
I'm not, I didn't say we should follow those people. I'm following your logic. You very generally said religious, right? A religious mindset or religious ideology to navigate life and how it's not conducive. So a group of people who navigate through a religious mindset, I simply pointed out the conducive nature of what they've been able to do for one another. So I'm not saying what we need to do this. It was good that they did this. I'm just responding to what you said.
Okay, so let's tighten this up a little bit more. So let's keep it at Abrahamic, because you said it was too general. So let's keep it at Abrahamic, and let's talk about our people.
Their religion.
Let's identify how.
Hold on, but their religion is
hold on, brother.
Their religion is still Abrahamic.
Yeah, I understand that. So, but I'm talking. That's why I said our people. Let's talk about our people.
Our people. Okay.
Okay. So, has Abrahamic religions ever unified our people as a whole?
Well, what's our people?
As a whole.
Let's make sure we qualify what our people is.
Our people, West and Central Africans. That's our people.
Okay, so I would counter with, has anything ever unified West and Central African people as a whole? Anything ever?
Certain things not.
Okay, so what are some of these certain things? I need you to reference a point in history where Western and Central African people ever unified.
We do know that they don't look at each other as all the exact same people, right?
Of course.
We know, right. So we know that there's multiple tribes there in West and Central Africa. But we do see that these specific tribes that stick to their foundational principles, right, and their foundational way of life, that they are able to prosper with this way of life. But then we see a change when we have an infiltration or invasion or enslaved by people who give us different religions who do not, which do not come from our people, and how we have perished under these religions and how it has broke us apart. And now in America.
Okay, but Jeremiah, I want to, because we're getting off topic here, brother. You said very simply that has Abrahamic religion ever unified our people? Who are our people? Western and Central Africans. Okay, so I'm asking you, when have Western and Central Africans ever been unified?
There's times where we are unified, and there's times where we're not.
Okay, what times were Western and Central African people ever unified? If there's times, plural, give me one.
You said give you one?
Just one.
Okay, we could talk about different empire. We could talk about the Mali Empire. It wasn't just one tribe who was in there.
The Mali Empire is northwestern Africa. So under the Mali Empire, where was the unification?
Or the Ghanaian, or we could talk about the Ghanaian Empire.
Okay, let's talk about the Ghanaian Empire. Was the Ghanaian Empire did it unify West and Central Africa, or were there other?
No, I said hold on. I said that there wasn't just one tribe. So those people who were in that specific empire, they had some type of unity, but of course, others who were not in the empire didn't have that same type of unity.
Okay.
That's why I mean, hold on. That's why I made reference tonight.
That's my question. You hold on. I gotta make sure that everyone understands what's going on. You said that Abrahamic religions never unified West and Central Africans. You are now going to empires that were not unifying all West and Central Africans, but some, right? That's what you're using. Some.
I agree with you. I said some.
Okay, so just so we could just for the record, West and Central Africans have never been unified.
You had cut me off when I was trying to lean over into when I talked about after the us being these religions being forced on our people, and then now I was about to get into us being here in America.
Real quick, if I could.
Okay, but that wasn't. I'm picking up on what you're saying, right? So you want to go into a diatribe. I'm not. The question is not about your diatribe. The question was simply is your critique of Abrahamic religion predicated upon it not unifying Western Central Africans, yet there is nothing that's ever unified.
Not
West
just the fact
So-
that it hasn't
so-
unified us, but
so
the
it's a
fact
mute
that it
point.
has
It's a mute
enslaved
point.
us.
Okay, now, but understand something, brother. That's a different point than the point that you initially said, and then the point that I responded to you on. So we
Okay.
can go point for point. That's fine. I'm just, when you say something, and if it raised my antennas, I'm just going to ask you directly about that. So Abrahamic religion has not unified Western Central Africans as a whole, nor has anything else ever. Okay, now we can move on. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. So, right, when I was saying that, and we can see that we haven't unified with this. So now, I just simply, I don't see the point or the necessity or the essential factor of subscribing to the Abrahamic religion. That's what I see in our people. We need to attempt or try to unify as much as possible based on simplistic foundational principles.
Okay,
And
so
stick to something that actually
actually what?
what happened?
Actually,
No,
what?
go ahead. My fault. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I kind of jumped in a little early, and then I heard you was
No, go ahead. No, I was saying, go ahead.
You said stick to something that actually what?
That actually stems from our people that we can relate to, that we can root ourselves in. And it doesn't have to be something religious, right? It can just be this is a simple way of life that we live by. And that is most conducive for our people. But you can go ahead. That's all I was saying.
Okay, so would you say like rules and regulations?
No.
Okay, so if there's what is a way of life that we can live by that is absent rules and regulations?
I said based on principle.
Okay, so if we're building stuff off principles, rules and regulations are going to come because of the principles, right? If I say that you violate,
how would that come because of principle?
Because it's natural. For example, if the principle that I respect my father is established in my home and I disrespect my father, then repercussions must naturally come upon me because I have disrespected the principle in which my household is established upon, correct?
Regardless if there's rules or laws, people will still make choices.
We understand that people still make choices regardless of rules and laws, but what you're
That's
trying
why, bro, laughing. You know where I'm going with this.
No,
because it's illogical, right? You came on and your initial statement was in regards to logic, and your statement is illogical. Just because people are going to make choices, that doesn't mean that rules shouldn't exist, right? If I tell people that if I found out you raped somebody, I'm going to kill you, right? Just because I know there's going to be rapists out there, should I not want to do something to rapists?
No, I'm not saying that. That'll be your natural instinct to do that.
That's what you're saying, and now you're talking about natural.
That's something. Instinct. That's something natural.
Natural instinct is relative.
Okay.
So when we're dealing with relativity is not how a civilization is ruled, brother. That there's no civilization in the world that you can go to that does not have rules.
So we can't live life based on principle.
Yes, we can live life based off principle, and out of principles comes rules that govern societies. Can
you give me an example of a rule that's not? Don't give me no common. Don't give me a common rule. Give me something.
I've already given you a pristine example of a rule that's based upon a principle.
You're talking about the rape, right?
No, I'm talking about what I said before that about if I respect my father, if I disrespect him, then consequences, repercussions are going to come to me as a result of that.
And you're attributing that to what? The rules?
I'm attributing that to the principle, right? There's a principle of respect. If I violate that principle, then there's rules that ensure that I will be punished for violating that principle.
And no matter how many rules you implement, people are still going to negate from that rule.
So what? Just because there's going to be a group of people.
Can I explain something real quick?
Just because a rule is broken, that doesn't mean a rule is not necessary or a rule doesn't have to be enforced. That's ridiculous.
I just want to explain something real quick.
Go ahead.
So when I used to work at an alternative school, right? I was the head counselor there. This is what I noticed from dealing with people, right? When you have rules and you bear people down to this rule, when they break rules, it seems like a lot of people just lose their mind, right? It's like we understand that people would do certain things, but then in the same instance, we act like we don't know that. So if we rewire our people's minds and raise our people from, children up based upon foundational principles, understanding that certain choices, that they're going to make certain choices. But if we give our people the mindset to do things that are right simply because they are right and for no other reason, which is an African principle, that will change their whole type of mindset. But if we tell people not to do this just because I'm going to do this back to you, that's not going to really make people not do something. You may deter some people, but for the most part, choices are still going to be made. So that's what I'm saying. The same way you might be saying, so I'm saying, if you have rules, people are still going to do exactly what they want to do, just like they do it right now. That's what I'm saying. Let's work on the core of our people and change their mindset.
If you have principles, it's going to be the same thing, though. So this is what you're negating.
Exactly. I understand that.
Here's what you're negating, though. If you want to change,
I'm not negating. I'm accepting choices.
Okay, that's fine. If you want to change people's minds, that takes what? Generations. It takes generations to where these children are born and they're having this mindset, right? So
are we looking for the quick fix? Or are we looking for a serious change?
We're not looking for a quick fix. I'm with you, but I'm just going to my point. In order to get that, rules would have to be implemented with that initial generation, because that initial generation do not think like that. A lot is going to have to happen for their minds to fully be changed, and it's going to take generations. So any negation of rules in any sense of raising up a group of people is nonsensical and ludicrous. Rules, order, discipline, all of these things are essential. There's nowhere you can go, no civilization, no empire, that great empires of West and Central Africa that you have already mentioned, there was rules, there was regulations, there was discipline, there was order, and they were all founded upon principle that you referenced. So we're not, one does not come without the other. Of course, certainly people are going to make choices, but the people that make those choices that are against the rules are always typically the minority of people, and that's just unavoidable.
Can I ask you a question real quick, bro?
Go ahead.
So your brothers that you in Sakari with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you respect them?
Why do I respect them? Well, first, because I'm commanded to respect them.
Mm-hmm.
So
now, if you was to ask me why I respect my brothers and my sisters, I don't need a specific type of reason. I respect my brothers and sisters simply just because I respect them. It's not about whether I fear what they would do if I disrespected them. Like when I was talking to the brother here, I don't know if it's cool to say your name on here, bro.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, when I was speaking to the brother Jordan, I told him, I emphasized that African principle that I do that which is right simply because it is right and for no other reason. I don't need a specific type of reason to do this. I respect my brother simply because I respect my brother. It's not a conditional type of reason.
Before you understand that proverb, did you do what was right just because it was right?
You said that I do what was right just because it was right?
Before you knew that proverb.
Yeah, I did, but it was hold on. But there was a point, hold on. I'm gonna say this. There was a point in time when I was younger, of course, where I wasn't where I'm at right now, where I did things for different reasons. But the more I developed and grew, like I was talking about earlier, I began to just do things simply because I didn't necessarily need a reason. Or a reason outside of just the simple fact that I do it. Go ahead though, bro.
Okay, so you say all that to say you're representing yourself and whatever you've gone through in your transition and understanding. Do you think that reflects on people in mass?
That's why I said it would take work, but that's why I emphasized our Are we looking for the quick fix, or are we looking for the serious change?
We
I know,
don't.
and I know you, and I know you say you're looking for the change, brother. I don't question your heart for our people at all. But you know, so I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Though, go ahead.
Yeah, you good. You good. You good. All I'm saying is that you know, I mean, we don't. At the end of the day, everything that you're saying that you want accomplished, or you know, the principles of blah blah. And I don't say blah blah to undermine it. I want to make sure that's understood. But I mean, none of that is any different from what we already do. So that's why it's like for somebody to come and when people have these certain objectives, that's why I ask these questions, because I want to get down to what it is that you know you're looking for, or what you want accomplished, you know what I mean, or whatever. And the idea that for somebody to be in at odds with you know, the thing in which that we utilize in order to do exactly what you want to get done, and we're actually getting it done. It's just kind of crazy to me. Like we're actually, you know, we actually are doing these things in mass, across the board, with something that you think that we're what you want to get accomplished.
And I don't knock the work that your brothers is putting in at all. Just from talking to Brother Jordan, I can see, like I was telling him, you know, I can see his heart for our people, which is, you know, it's a great thing, very beautiful thing. But also in that, I've seen what I'm referring to as just doing things simply because, completely rewiring the minds of our people, which will take a lot of work. I am in the knowing of that, but I've seen it work. And you know what I was talking about when I was working at the alternative school, I've seen students start to do things because things were told to them, but then when I came and I would speak to them, and I was wiring their minds in a different way to get them to, you know, do what we call right, just simply because. And I've seen the drastic change in their lives. I've seen them go from in the streets shooting people, right, to completely changing their life around, not even giving a reason for it, just saying, why should I do that? It's no reason for me to do that. You know, I've seen the drastic change, of course, but not in the masses. Do I know certain people who have the same mindset that I do? Yes. In masses, no.
Hey, if I can say this, Chief, right? So this is pretty much where the conversation gets rolling, because the brother uses certain keywords that I kept addressing, right? He'll use words like,
brother.
You said, hold on.
No. I'm not talking to you. My fault.
Yeah, I was saying the brother uses keywords. He'll use a word like unity, and then he'll quote the African proverb, I do that which is right simply because it is right. I would follow like exactly what you're doing, Chief, is exactly what I was doing on the call.
I know it too.
Right, you'll say something, and then it pops in my mind. Right, where are we getting the measurement? Right.
I explained that already, Jordan. You want to explain exactly what I said, or you want to tell half the story?
What I can't tell half only.
Bro, you got to tell the full story, man.
You got to understand, I wasn't telling the story at all. I was expressing, trying to just say, let's just fill in the gap so Chief doesn't have to keep asking you the questions that we already know. Let me fill in the blanks and let's actually get into the conversation. You, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're establishing what's right based off of what I will want someone to do to me.
The conversation was a lot more deeper than that, though.
I understand it was a lot deeper, but I can't repeat the entire conversation. You know what I mean? And I just take the floor.
So can you give me an example of what you just asked me real quick?
Hold on. What it boiled down to was, in determining right from wrong for you, Jeremiah, was you asked me, would you want somebody to do it to you? Or would you be okay with someone doing it to you? I responded to the question, no. And you said, exactly. That's how we're going to determine.
Because hold on, so let's talk about this specific topic that we were referring to in that situation.
Correct.
Can you bring that up for me real quick?
We were talking about a 40, 50-year-old man dealing with my 15-year-old daughter.
Exactly. So, right before that, you were saying that you would. There were some instances where you were saying, you wouldn't tell. You said there was no problem with that, right? Because you was talking about the Bible and different things like that. And you were we were hold on. We brung up the whole flower thing, and if a female's body is physically matured.
Correct. Again, in terms of her having that physical development, not just predicated on a period, but her body blossoming and developing. If it just so happened to be as early as 15, and I seen a 40-year-old man with her, then I would have no means or no base of condemnation to that man. Would I want a 40-year-old man today taking my daughter? I said no, the same way I wouldn't want a 15-year-old boy taking my 15-year-old daughter.
Right.
So hold on. When you asked me the question of the former question about the 40 to the 15-year-old, that was when you confirmed, yes, exactly, as if that was a standard upon which you base right and wrong.
Because I was saying, no, what I was showing you is that to know what we call right from wrong isn't hard. So I touched up on, let's go back to something else as well. I touched up on the fact that when we see with our different senses that we have, right, psychological senses like sight, sound, all these different things, right, we're recording all these different things that we see throughout our life, right? And when we see something that is the opposite of what we've seen before, we can identify that and know that isn't what I've seen before. So then we'll know this is not the same as that, thus giving us diversity, or yeah. And so we can see that this is identified as negative, this is identified as a positive. So
and that's kind of my contention too with the I'm sorry, Jeremiah, to cut you off.
You good.
Man.
You good. So hold on, let me finish real quick. Bro. So when we're trying to put this big stronghold on right and wrong, or positive and negative, it's very easy. That's why I was explaining to you on a scientific level. So when we were talking about the whole thing about the 50-year-old girl, right, and the 50-year-old man, nobody has to tell you that that's not okay. A book don't have to tell you that that's not okay. You feel that pressure because you can see that this man is way too old to be approaching my daughter.
Here's why I object to that, and I'm gonna speak candidly, brother. I don't mean this, with all due respect, but that's bullshit. And I'll explain. And this be my problem with everyone. Your name is Jeremiah Africa, right? That's pretty common in Western Central Africa for stuff like that to happen. So for you to have such an objection to that, I will honestly say that your big objection from that actually comes from your experience in the Western world that's molded by the same Abrahamic tradition that you're condemning.
Not everybody in Western Central Africa is doing that, brother. And hold on. And I'm gonna touch upon this.
I didn't say everybody. It happens a lot. The general age of consent in
and I'm not biased, brother. I still don't.
The general age of consent in Western and Central Africa is like 16. That's general.
But that's according to the cultural narrative as well, because the cultures that we deal with is what develops the laws and the rules to put in the Bible, right? Agree to that?
Hold on, exactly, you're exactly right. So this is the point, though. This is why we saying all of this, to say that your idea of right and wrong.
Can I emphasize that I'm not biased, though? I'm just going to emphasize that.
Okay, that's fine. But you have a problem with something that is pretty common in the place that you say your people come from. Culturally, that's common. Pre-Abrahamic culture, that's common, right? So
but what you're saying is not necessarily accurate, though, because when you look at the places that those things are common at, those cultures, have been affected by the Islamic slave trade with the Sahara slave trade. And they like the people who are doing that don't.
Okay. Let's say all that's true. Can you demonstrate to me that was not commonplace prior to any Islamization or Christianization?
Correct.
Well, I mean that would be a logical fallacy. You're saying prove something didn't happen. You know that, bro. For me, a smart individual.
So hold on. Can we say this real quick?
No. Everybody need to slow down and hold on. Because here's the thing here. You're saying now that the reason they're doing this is probably because of being Islamicized. Is what you're saying. right? Without
No,
any proof, because
that's not what I'm saying.
even primitive tribes that have not prescribed to any Abrahamic religion are still doing this.
Hold on, let him explain. Let him explain real quick.
Brother, hold up. I'm asking, can you give us an example of a primitive tribe, whatever you want to call us, that's from West Africa? I think it's offensive to call where I'm from primitive, but can you show me a tribe from West Africa or ethnicity that subscribes to?
I said primitive tribe, right? I didn't call where you come from primitive because I come from the same place that you come from, right? So I'm not calling the place primitive. I said a primitive tribe, meaning a tribe that lives in the bush, a tribe that does not deal with technological advances, right? That's what I mean by primitive. Okay, so don't that was a nice little attempt at a slight, not working. So
you're good. That's not necessarily what I meant to do. You know, I understand your intent. What I'm saying is, if you dive into the culture of West Africa, you will see when you come to a certain age, you marry. You don't marry an older person because they already have been married off. You would marry someone.
You can't do that. You can't say in Africa, right?
Huh?
Tribes are different. Tribes have different cultures. Right.
Yeah, or let me give you let me give you my tribe where I come from.
Just like you want to ask about where this primitive tribe or whatever, you can't just say in Africa, I need you to mention tribes. The same way
he about to give a specific tribe right now.
That's what I'm about to do. So amongst the Yoruba people, once you get to a certain age, you typically get inducted and you get initiated in Ifa. And that age, when you become of legal age, you get your wife or your husband. And that person is typically around your same age, if not, 3 or 4 years different. You don't necessarily see a 15-year-old girl being given or sold because they didn't necessarily value they didn't necessarily put a value on a woman in West Africa as far as the monetary value, because they was not looked as a property or something that a man could own, because they was looked at as part of the civilization as a whole, and it was given a little bit more, I guess, quote unquote, civil rights or rights.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? They had the ability to speak amongst men. They had the ability. Matter of fact, a lot of places had matrilineal peso.
That's still practiced amongst Yoruba, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Is Islam prevalent amongst Yoruba?
It is, and it is because of the conversion. And so the people.
But I'm asking that just to say that, okay, so here we have a group of people who continually practice their same tribal culture, right? That even ones that are just like a lot in West Africa, you have people being Islamicized, people being Christianized, but them still keeping at least part of that culture, right? And then of course we have some that have not subscribed, have not subsided to that. So here we have a group of people who have faced mass Islamization, yet still ain't letting 15-year-olds marry 40-year-olds. Typically, usually a woman get married. Maybe she with a man that's a little bit older than her, but not nothing drastic, which I agree with, which I totally agree with, and what I would say is appropriate, right? But now they did, but then we have another tribe. They might have been Islamicized, but they let the damn 11-year-old marry a 40-year-old or something wild like that, right? So are we to say that it's Islam's fault, or are we to put that on the tribe itself, because that didn't happen to the Yoruba? So why did the other tribe happen? Did it happen to? Or did it even happen to them at all? Was that already what they was doing? Then they just so happened to be Islamicized.
Well, again, it goes back to the culture defining the laws and the rules of those people. And so if you are identifying with the culture, if you practice Islam and you have a forefather named Ibrahim who married a substantially younger woman, then it will become more acceptable to you to do it because one of your forefathers that you subscribe to did the exact same thing. Now, and I don't have a problem with culture, right? I get that. I get it. I get if I go to the Middle East, I'm gonna probably see some older dudes married to younger women. I get that, right? I'm saying that in the state of our culture right now, we need to do different things to develop our culture for ourselves and break away from subscribing to be other people, because other ethnic groups develop their culture for them. And so when we as West Africans or whatever we subscribe to be, Hebrew Israelites or Egyptians or whatever, subscribe to someone else's culture, it's not doing us a service because we are subscribing to their culture and not identifying our own culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, I don't have a problem with Hebrew Israelites. I think y'all should develop something that's called halakha. Halakha is how you walk out your Torah, the instruction that you feel that God gave you, right? And for me, I understand iconography. Iconography, let's talk about icons. If we all have smartphones, if I got an iPhone and you got an Android and you hit Internet Explorer and I hit Google Chrome or you hit Firefox, we're doing the exact same thing. We're trying to raise our people to a higher level, right? And my issue is when you I guess you have a theological supremacist point of view that you believe that your smartphone and your icon is somehow superior to the iPhone or to the Android or to someone else's icon that they're using to get better themselves.
iPhone, brother. Just for the
This man can really Hebrew. Wow, man.
Go ahead, though, King. You was building. I'm with you all the way. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so like I think that's something that's very important because a lot of us we like even if you let's digress off this point of arguing about being a Hebrew Israelite or not, right? The only reason why you would call your Hebrew is because you will be speaking Hebrew. But if you are a person that's in West Africa, you may be speaking Igbo language or whatever the languages are. You're going to develop those cultures independently based on your dialect and based on your language, and you're going to learn how to articulate what you're trying to do in a different dialect. And for me, my biggest contention is the fact that people try to say, hey, the language that you're speaking and you're culturally identifying yourself and making yourself better is bad because I have chosen this and you should choose it too. If that makes any sense. That's called theological supremacy.
So basically you have the issue that you take up with is theological supremacy.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my biggest contention is the fact that I can walk down the street, I can have my Elike on and I'm saying whatever, and a bunch of Hebrews will say, you goddamn dirty Hamite, we're gonna put you in slavery because I don't pray to Yahweh and I pray to Olodumare. Or somebody else may pray to Allah or Ella, you know what I'm saying? Or they may, do Chiku or whatever. And it's very difficult to deal with people who only speak one language because as a person who speaks multiple languages, I'm sure you understand that I guess you would say points of view or
it's a language barrier.
Themes are transferable. Like red and rojo, it's the exact same thing. Love and the hob, it's the exact same thing. And just because I'm saying it in one language, or I'm saying it based on one cultural understanding, we all have the same God. It's only one creator. I'm pretty sure there wasn't 17 creators in the sky. One made you, one made me, one made Jeremiah Africa. There had to have been one creator that did that because we all come from the same source. And just because the quote unquote Tower of Babel divided us up into different nations and confused us so that we wouldn't come together and become one. And I feel like that's what we're having right now is a situation where we are not able to come together as a people because we don't see the difference in our cultures and respect one another's differences. We want people to subscribe to what we personally believe in and understand, and only what we think based on our language. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Can I ask? I wanted to ask Gorilla Hebrew a question real quick.
Go ahead,
a simple question. Although you deal with what you deal with, right? And I'm coming from a very simplistic principle type of way and not rules and stuff like that. Would you say that if there are certain people that are like me, and then there's brothers who deal with what you brothers deal with, can we coexist? Can we find a common thread to connect us?
I mean, there's already a common thread to connect us. We're the same people, so we can coexist,
right,
and deal with our people, no matter where they at. Period. You know what I'm saying? We deal with all the time.
So kind of like that principle that I talked about the doing right simply because, right? So we are connected. So I defend my brother. I am there for my brother simply because that is my brother.
Yeah, of course, certainly, but the but there is
Mm-hmm.
to wit is gonna vary per individual and where they're at. So there
Right.
could be
So the same way I wouldn't judge. So I'm saying I wouldn't judge you brothers the same way I would judge another brother who's just out here wilding out. Even though he might call himself a Hebrew, I'm not going to say, oh, Gorilla Hebrew is the same because he calls himself a Hebrew. Nah, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to deal with you as an individual, and I'm going to break you down as an individual to understand you.
of course,
So that's what I'm
certainly.
saying. I don't. That's what I mean. Like I don't have a belief. I live a simplistic way, right? And I use my psychology, because I have a very advanced understanding in that science to understand that the common thread, it doesn't have to be something based in a belief, but pressures that we feel as a collective whole. Different pressures that we can identify and see. Okay, is this toxic? Is this beneficial? Is this conducive for our people? Is this not conducive for our people? That's what I would say is the common. That's what I would say is the common thread, along with us being the same people.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm with you there. I don't have any. I certainly don't have any objection. You know what I'm saying? Anything that you just said, not by a long stretch.
Hmm. Can I ask
The
you
brother.
another question real quick?
Go ahead, go ahead.
And I don't mean to be seeming like I'm drilling you with questions. I'm not drilling you with questions or
Yeah, it's
anything.
only the second question. You all right?
Um, with us talking about this right here, and we're saying that we can identify if something is toxic to our people or conducive for our people as a collective whole. Would you uh, I'm looking at you like a leader, within your group, as long as those other brothers are leaders as well. If you can see something within the doctrine that you brothers subscribe to, that is that may be causing some type of cancer within the collective whole, would you address it?
Of course.
Okay, I can respect that. I respect that. Definitely. That's the only question I had. I respect it a lot.
Certainly, certainly.
If I could say, man, I think that brothers have to understand, and this is why we have such a platform like the Situation Room, uh,
Hmm.
because from the time I've had a conversation with you, brothers, um, you guys have had issues with how other Hebrew Israelites utilize the Bible. So
Absolutely.
when I came on and I talked to you guys, you're kind of like in the beginning, like shocked, like damn, like I could have sworn he was gonna come like any other Hebrew Israelite I've ever talked to. And again, it's to put this what we would consider the truth on the front line to say this is what it is. This is what's going to help our people, and this is what we're going to utilize to achieve the goal that we want for our people, like you said, to renew the mind, and to operate as a collective and to be conducive with one another, and
Hmm.
we're utilizing rules, regulations that we find in the biblical text.
Hmm.
So this is really what it's about. If we ever felt like it was an issue that was toxic, then
Hmm.
yeah, I'd have threw the book away a
And
long time ago.
and I
I just
wanted
Yeah,
to also
of course.
I wanted to also point out, uh, uh brother Jordan, I don't know if you remember, but when I brung up what I told you, I heard a sister say before when she said some people can be so intelligent that they don't understand diversity, right? And
Mhm.
so I'm glad that I am one of those intelligent people, that I do understand diversity. So I do understand that there are going to be some of our people who hold on to what you brothers hold on to. There's going to be some of our people who hold on to if it's Islam, or some of our people who hold on to the West African, Central African roots, as Brother Kael does, right? Um, or or like some that may be like me, who are just trying to evolve to this state of simplicity, and just live by constant evolution. You know what we was talking about, Brother Jordan. Different things like that. And so I do understand that. So that's why I don't nudge up against our brothers that do hold up to a different standard as you brothers do, versus the other brothers that give a bad name for a lot of your brothers. So I do respect that about y'all, and I do understand diversity. So I just wanted to point that out.
Can I chime in for a second before y'all go? And that's, I want to say that as well. Like I appreciate you, brothers, because it's very, very rare to have a a scholarly, intellectual conversation with people without being called names. Because and that's the reason why I'm here, really, because like I feel that a lot of Hebrew Israelites don't understand what you brothers are necessarily putting forth, and so they're bringing forth a false narrative of hate for the Black community, for anyone who doesn't necessarily subscribe to being a Hebrew Israelite. And I know that's something that you guys don't do, because y'all are willing to unite. I've seen you, and talk to Unc about going into business with the shoe business. Like we got to do business together. We got to take back our community together, because if y'all just try to only the Hebrew Israelites get together and do it, it's not going to work. If only the folks that practice Ephod get together, it's not going to work. But collectively, we can do this. And then when we go home, we can go to your own synagogue, your own temples, whatever you want to do, and keep your feast days. I'm going to keep my holy days. And we can come back there next week and we can make money together. And so that's where we're at right now, where we're making a separation in the Black community, and we're separating based on a thought, not something that I've done to you personally, not something that you've done to me, but because I think something otherwise than you, that means I can't unite with you. And I think that that's a huge problem that's being perpetuated, and it's based on the conscious community. And I'm not saying that any of y'all have any part of that. I'm saying collectively we all have part of that, because we're making a narrative that we're separating from one another, but based on where I'm from. We definitely have a common enemy. And once we realize we have a common enemy, and it's the goddamn white man instead of anybody on this damn call, then we can come back and fight. I don't know any of you brothers, but I will give you, I'll give you a shirt off my back. If you needed something, I'd give it to you. But a lot of people, brother, in the back chat, they called us names. Y'all haven't. And we got to get out of that mentality. We're not at war with each other. We're in war with the people who brought us over here. All our Black asses came. We don't got to think together, but we got to stick together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, to the point, just going in with understanding the Hebrew Israelite paradigm, and that's why I asked Jeremiah in the beginning when I was speaking on the Jewish people.
Mm-hmm.
You have Jewish people. Atheism is huge amongst Jewish people. The majority of them are atheists, but they still all unify around their ethno-religious ideology. You see what I'm saying? An atheist, homosexual Jew can go into a Jewish synagogue and get a free meal and a free place to stay at his leisure, predicated simply because he's a Jew by birth. So in understanding these things, there is from the perspective of the Torah, there's an understanding that your people are your people, even if this person is into this, or this person is into this idolatry, this person just totally doesn't believe in the same thing you believe. It does not negate the fact that this is your people. So there are certain rules and regulations and guidelines that we have to abide by in regards to you, or else we are held accountable by the paradigm that we believe in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it said, thou shalt not hate thy brother in your heart. Then it doubles down and says, it qualifies your brother and your neighbor as the children of your people. Not the people who believe the same thing as you, but the children.
Yeah. You froze up, bro.
Accountable for as to treating a certain way, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that correlates with what I was saying about understanding diversity. So I see that you brothers do live up to that, which you was just talking about. So that's a good thing, because you brothers seem like you understand diversity.
Yeah.
And also, just from the scriptural standpoint, it puts us out of the mind state that we're gonna have like a total, like it's gonna be a total conversion. There's no, it didn't say, it says to tell everybody, but it doesn't say expect everybody. You understand what I'm saying? Tell everybody, declare this to everybody, but only expect the minority of people to actually adhere to it. You see what I'm saying? So we're not expecting to convert all. It's just not going to happen. The book don't tell us it's going to happen. The book tells us a remnant are going to actually be the ones that are going to be pious, piously convert back to the laws. So understanding that and understanding that we're still held accountable to treating our people some type of way, regardless. You know what I mean? We just realistic about the whole situation.
Mhm. Okay.
And I think that I think we have a lot of very, very similar beliefs, and we strive for the exact same thing. We're just using different spiritual systems to achieve it, and I don't see a problem with that. I'm not asking you to believe in what I believe. I've never pushed it on anybody. Like, most people don't even know what I even believe in because it's none of their business, because it makes me better, not them. You know what I'm saying? And like, I feel the same way about you. Like, we can help each other without knowing what one another believes in. We can do business ventures without knowing what one another believes in. I'm sure that all y'all have ever had a job in y'all life. They didn't ask you, hey, what's your religion? They asked you, what are your skills? You know what I'm saying? And those are things that I think we need to all build upon. And hey, keep being a Hebrew Israelite to the day that you die, and be the best Hebrew you can. And I'm gonna be the best Yoruba man that I can, and this brother right here gonna be the best if he practice mod that he can, and then we can win that way. We can't win by demonizing one another. It's never gonna work.
And I think we got to a very great level of understanding when me and the brother Jordan was talking. We did see that on an intricate level that we had a difference, but I did see all in all that we both desire the same thing for our people. So that alone, showed me that we can work together on some things, but in regards to other brothers who may not be as understanding or knowledgeable as you brothers are, or mature, I'll say, that's going to be very hard, because there's many brothers that are toxic, whether they deal with that doctrine or not. We just have a lot of toxic people.
Your toxicity, just period. Right. We see it. We see it in every ideology.
Right. Exactly.
That's just, and that goes back into psychology you were talking about, when you deal with, the psychological experiences that each in particular brother or sister has been through. That's going to kind of dictate their behavior until they could do what they need to do to change that.
Absolutely. Because I like that example that you gave. You was bringing up the you brought up the Jewish, and you brought up how you can have people within the midst of that group who just deal with science, and they're still allowed, they're still fed by the people in the temple and different things like that. And prior to there was a time in which we didn't, when our people were here, and we were during the times of enslavement, or a little after that, they weren't all on the same exact page, but they still worked together. They still cooperated with each other. So these are the things that we need to look at and implement for ourselves now, instead of beating each other down. I know there's many times where, for me, they'll say, "Oh, you an atheist," and I mean, I blow it off. I let them say what they want to say. But I know I could get very intellectual with them and say, well, how could you call me that if that's just a belief, and all of those different things. But what I'm saying is that we see that with many of us that we can work together. It's just that, as you said, there's toxicity everywhere.
Yeah, let me interject real quick. It's been a pretty fruitful dialogue, and I think that there's the sister in the back. She has a question that I think you guys might have the same sentiment. So I just want to know this. This is a big question.
Here, look. Matter of fact, Adonis, can I bring her?
What's up?
Can I bring the sister on? Because we had capacity, so I'll just take you off briefly so I can bring this on so she can ask a question?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a big statement. So sisters on.
Peace, sis, peace.
Mic check, mic check.
Santua, you are speaking to your mic.
Shariah.
Yeah, she's off of mute, but
oh man, we calling out the names.
Shariah.
She was on that first.
My
yeah,
sister.
She's off of mute. She's gonna have to go out and come back in.
Have to come back again.
And accept that the microphone is.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you accept the mic. Accept that it allows you to control your mic.
Yeah, she's gonna have to go out. You gotta
come back in all the way.
Yeah, so until she comes back on, I want to see if these brothers have the same sentiment. Do you believe that the Bible is the colonizer's book, as the sister verbatim put it verbatim?
I would say that we received it from the colonizer.
Received it from the colonizers.
Yeah, that's what I would say. But to say, coming from that specific set of European, meaning the making of it, I wouldn't say that. But I do know that book is not stemming from a West and Central African. So, all in all, it's not coming from my people. But that's what I would say.
Okay, can other black people be colonizers?
You said, can other black people be colonizers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would suppose so. If they're coming, if somebody coming from the Middle East or whatever, and coming down there and, putting people into the state of unwilling servitude and things like that, I would say so. Okay,
so I'm trying to understand when you say colonizer, they gave us the Bible. Is that what you said, or am I misquoting you?
I'm talking about us specifically as West and Central Africans, transatlantic slave trade, and that was when we were given the text.
Okay,
I would definitely say that they gave us the Bible. I mean, because like we have decrees that was issued against the people in West Africa that said if they people did not follow the Bible, they were okay for their lands to be taken and them to be enslaved. So I mean, like we definitely didn't have it prior to the 1400s.
Okay, perfect. So both of you guys are gonna say around the 1400s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I think the sister's back in. The sister's back in. Let's get her. Mic check. Mic check.
Peace, sis.
Peace and love. Peace and
there
love.
we go. She's on.
What's up,
go in, sis. Peace, sis.
So listen, I'm sticking to what I was saying before. Okay, none of these books can come. Okay, it's causing a rift between unity. That's what's happening because you're over there calling us Hamites, and we really not Hamites at all. We're actually your brother. We're all the same. We're all African, right? So if you have these books that are basically stopping us from focusing on what we really need to be focusing on right now, how are these books relevant? How is the Quran relevant? How is the Bible relevant? You know, you got people debating and arguing about who Esau is every day, who the Hamites are, who Moab is, and we're still stuck here in North America when we really need to be getting out the fuck out of here. Sorry.
Okay, you good. So real quick, what is it that we need to be focused on?
We need to put these books aside.
Okay.
We need to put these books aside, and then we can begin to focus on each other.
But if the book is making me focus on each other, why would I then?
It's not making us focus on each other because we're all separated by different nations in the book.
No, we're not all separated by different nations in the book. You can call yourself, and as somebody who at least formally identified as a Hebrew Israelite, no one is going to call you a Hamite and actually think you're a Hamite. You're Jamaican, right? So if anybody's calling you that, they're calling you that colloquially just to essentially shame what you're believing in, not actually separating you nationally. Because the Hebrew Israelite paradigm is predicated upon believing that the people in the diaspora are the Israelites. So they're not going to identify somebody in the diaspora not as an Israelite.
But I'm Jamaican, but my ancestors come from Ghana. They come from the Ashanti tribe.
All of our ancestors is West African. You see what I'm saying? So just because an Israelite is, or you may have somebody who is base level and goes,
bro, threw the hoodie on.
you talking about Ghana? Oh, that's a Hamite. Anybody who say that is just somebody that's unlearned and don't even take your time with the individual.
And
there ain't nobody on this whole thing that's not, because we are Israelites, but I know good and damn well I'm from West Africa. I know
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead, King.
I as I told Jordan, I don't attribute your level of morality or your level of intelligence to the book. I said to him in there, I said, as far as I'm concerned, you are more intelligent than your God and that book. And I think, and I hold on, I just wanted, and that's not a shot. That's not a shot at all. I want y'all brothers to take. So I don't attribute your level of morality to that book or your God. And I think that's where the sister's getting at, is that you don't need the book or you don't need the God.
See, but this is where we go back to. You're talking to three people who would not have these morals if it wasn't for the book. I'm going to be quite honest with you. You're talking to three people who you're talking to three people who did not have these morals before the book. Not even close to this level of morality before the book. The book is what gave me a lot of my morals, the majority of my morals, quite frankly.
Now I won't say okay, so you used the book, right? Mm-hmm. And you grew, right? But would you say that you still need it right now?
That's a fact. So
you still need your God right now.
There's other ways to
I need my life.
Hold on. Come on, bro. Hold on.
I'll never not need it because it's living water. So there's things that I can look at it and see today that I did not see 11 years ago when I began my walk in it. So it's always going to be a necessity because it's alive.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. So okay. So you would say that is your that is the start of your moral platform.
I would say that not the start of my moral platform. I was raised with certain morals. But honestly, majority of the morals that I was raised in was based upon biblical principles. So yeah, it's certainly the start. It's the start of the majority of Black people in America's moral platform for sure. I honestly don't think that there's anyone who can honestly say the Bible is not at least the basement of their moral platform, because we were all raised with
by default because it was forced on us over here, right?
Well, religion was forced upon us, certainly.
Right. I mean, but I'm not. It's no shot, but it came with the book. It came with the book. It didn't come with the book.
In church is the Bible. Yeah.
Do you feel that it could be effective? If you, because you said it a couple times that you come from West Africa, do you think it'll be effective to look back into West Africa and to study those tribes in their natural habitat and natural culture, or is it more beneficial?
It's a member of my organization that for the fourth time in the last year, literally just got on a plane and went back to Nigeria. He's Nigerian, so
that's dope.
We understand these things. We study. I always study the tribes, and when I study them, I show the parallels in the Torah and in these tribes, because the whole base level is that we believe that this is just something that our people did after we was wandering, and we end up settling in West Africa after expulsion out of Israel. These are just things that we created. So there's remnants of what we had already came from in our previous ideologies that's there, present and alive and well in those cultures.
Yeah.
So okay.
Are you saying that we have traces of Second Temple Judaism in West Africa, or did they change and develop something new, or did they assimilate to those local people that was already there? What would you say?
I would say it's traces of first and it's traces of Second Temple. that's in there, and then there's also things that people could have came up with on their own, or people could attribute to cultural synchronization, which occurred a lot because it was different people that even when we take a look at understanding politically what occurred in 70 AD, you have Israel, you have the Jews, not just all of Israel, but you have the Jews get expelled from Judea, but then we have the other peoples there. You have the Syrophoenicians and you have the Canaanites, and all these people all get kind of kicked out of where they was at. So you had empires, and even the Canaanites had already had Carthage established by the time this happened. So then you have different cultures coming, kind of getting around each other and exchanging ideas, how cultures do when they get around each other and they are in close proximity with each other. And you have aspects of forgetting or omitting certain aspects of their culture, replacing it with this. So a lot of things happen. But like I said, I can see traces of First and Second Temple quote unquote Judaism in a lot of, not all, but in a lot of what's happening in culture.
Okay, don't sweat, don't sweat. Do you think it's important for the people who are also Hebrew Israelites to know that the thing, because I wouldn't necessarily say that you are a average Hebrew Israelite based on your level of study, like you, Divine Prospect, and but the general masses of people are not as well studied as you are, or Divine, or Zion Lex, especially regarding West Africa, right?
They bash West Africa.
And they call us Hamites, they call us all these different things, right? And if you understand that it's a religious difference, because you're dealing with First and Second Temple Judaism, you're dealing with people who may have converted to different things, wouldn't it be beneficial to kind of rein in the peoples who are also under that same paradigm to say, hey, even if they don't believe what you believe, it may be beneficial for us to not bash our brothers and sisters, because we're all saying the same thing based on time periods or cultural understandings and differences.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, and we we teach things, but it's up to like I love, one of the biggest cliches I love is you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So we talk about West Africa a lot. Even the term Africa, the average Hebrew Israelite doesn't understand that if he adheres, and the average Hebrew Israelite adheres to the writings of Flavius Josephus. The average Hebrew Israelite will swear by Josephus far more than I will swear by Josephus. According to Josephus, the term Africa is a Hebrew word, and it comes from the Afar tribe, who were the sons of Abraham. So even when they do that, even when even their understanding of Africa is flawed, because they don't even understand that based off a book that they swear by, because they didn't read that part. So but we put this information out. Whoever takes it and receives it, you know what I'm saying, and downloads it into their subconscious, you know what I'm saying, they do that, but it's important, like you said, because what you just said was this was what our people were doing at a certain time period here. It's good to understand it, and it's good to build upon that. Like, my background is Haitian, right? So there's a certain segment of Haitian people that practice voodoo, right? Not as widespread as people would think, but there is certainly a certain segment. So in understanding that I study voodoo and I can show parallels between the Torah and voodoo, I'm not going in there saying, oh, everything you believe is wrong. What I'm going is saying, look, this connects here, but this is where this is where you went left with it here. You see what I'm saying? As opposed to just bashing the whole thing entirely, because I understand it better and good enough to be able to say, listen, this is that.
What would you say? What would you say? What would you identify as something that went left?
Something that went left?
Is it just? Is it? I'm asking. Is it because it doesn't? Is it because it's not in agreement with the Torah?
Exactly. So one of the main things that I would say would be idolatry. The construction of idols for the purpose of reverence or worship. That would be the main issue. I got something I'm putting together right now called "Where Has God Been for 400 Years?" And I think that the title kind of lets you know the theme that I'm following with it. But basically, it's in line with people going, okay, we've been believing in this God that the white man gave us for 400 years. Why ain't he helped us? Why are we still blah, blah, blah? Logical question that I think some of our people have came to a crossroads and they asked themselves, and it led them on a certain path. I want to address that question, and it's going to address that question based on going back to the Torah and taking a look at the historical journey that our people have made through their various migrations, and then what we began to do. And if what we began to do is forsake Torah, and this same deity promised us that if we forsook Torah, that all these things were going to happen to us. God's been right there for 400 years. We just haven't been paying any attention to what he told. You understand what I'm saying? So the point is that
That's insane.
So does the 400 years only count for the North Americans, or does it count for the, like, how do y'all judge when this 400-year portion starts? And like
the 400-year prophecy is not in relation to America at all.
Okay,
That's
cool.
not-
I'm
yeah,
glad
that's
you vocalized that, because a lot of people believe that it
that's
is.
sojourning from
So everybody got to
Canaan.
wait longer.
Sojourning from Canaan. Well, I'm not. We're waiting on us. We're not. This is what people are trying to realize. We're not waiting on anything outside of us. We're waiting on us. It's that simple. We were told very simple. The kingdom that we're waiting for is in us. He didn't say don't look anywhere else. It's in you. So that's another problem that people fail to realize. People are waiting on something outside of themselves when the book itself tells you to look in yourself. There's the answer. You understand what I'm saying? So these are the things that we emphasize. Now people can pick them up if they feel like it, or they cannot. That's on everybody, right? But this is certainly something that we emphasize.
So I'm glad you brought up it. It's you, right? So basically, it's you where we are waiting on ourselves.
Right.
So that brings me back to my question as to, or not my question, but question and statement. But I was saying that you are more that you don't need your book or your God, that you're more intelligent than that. And I don't attribute your level of morality to that. Although you did say that was, more so of your platform of morality, but you had other morals installed in you prior to that, but you give a high reverence to the Torah and different things like that, respect it and everything. That's honest. What I'm saying. So my question is now, being that what you just said, you're waiting on us. My question is, why do you still need the Abrahamic text?
It's very simple, because what we're waiting on us. What are we waiting on us to do? We're waiting on us to adhere to the precepts that are in the Abrahamic test and actually follow them, like the brother mentioned the halakha.
So what about what the sis said? What about what the sis said when she said that we just need to come together? We need to understand each other and build together. Why are we still waiting on us to own up to a text that we didn't have prior to West
A
and
lot
Central
of
Africa?
talking, no action.
Well, here's the problem. You just said we need to come together and understand each other. That means we need to talk. So don't tell me a lot of talking and no action when you just said what we need to do is talk. That's your solution. So that's
all right. It begins with talking.
It has to begin with talking. We have to talk, because if we don't talk and if we don't get on one accord, we're not going to be able to do any action whatsoever.
Come muni, meaning to unite. Come unite and to talk.
And what are we going to unite under? Like we all understand this. Getting up to this point, right? Okay, Africa.
I think me and brother Gorilla Hebrew already said we would unite under the simple fact that we have the same pressures.
Yeah, well, I understand that.
The unity has become under a political banner. Like for instance, when the people left out of Egypt, they united on a political banner and they called themselves Yasha'al or Israel. They came together and they established certain moral laws, certain traditions, certain cultural things, and united. That's the exact same thing that the black man and black woman is going through here in America, right? Would y'all all agree to that? That we all are coming out of something together. Correct. We all came out of this slavery together, right? And we all have things that are near and dear to us, right? Would you agree?
Correct.
Yes.
Why do I have to give up all of mine because you are asking me? And why should you have to give up all of mine because I'm asking you? Why can't we just unite on the political boundaries? We can unite on the social economic matters. We can unite under education, and we can keep our spiritual system to ourselves. That would be the most beneficial and the easiest path for us.
I feel what bro just saying,
but they're not saying that though.
Right.
You right.
No. Hold on. No. I am. I'm saying what he's saying. But at the same time, you said something in reference to voodoo, right? You said, okay, this is where they went left. And I thought that you were saying for us to just come together, but then when I asked you what you were waiting for, you said you were waiting for us to adhere to the precepts and all of those different things.
Mhm.
And that's why I said what I said. I wasn't saying that I was going against what I said earlier. So I still agree with Brother Kyle, but I said what I said because of what you had said. That's why I said that.
Okay.
And if I could add, like you got to understand, like what the brother Kayal said is literally more in line with what we subscribe to, but it only gets us so far. Because I'm gonna tell you this, and we can showcase exactly what happened right here on this discussion. Me, you, Jeremiah, Kayal, and Chief, we all agreed. Kayal literally said, and you, Jeremiah, I don't particularly have a problem with you guys utilizing the scriptures, right? As long as we can come together under, some understanding and unity. Chief then added to say, yeah, because we understand that we still have an obligation to, treat you guys in a manner that is respectful.
As long as it's not causing toxicity and conflict.
I feel like
Anything, and that's how I am with anything. I'm anti-nonsense. I'm not biased. I'm completely anti-nonsense.
But you recognize the toxicity came in when the sister put in the comment board and got on a call saying we got to throw the books out completely.
Yeah,
and she hold on, and she has a very valid point to why she's saying that.
I agree with what my brothers are saying when it comes to putting the books aside. You could believe whatever you want inside your heart, but they gotta go aside when it's time to get down to business.
So that's what I'm saying. When we're getting down to business, how are we rectifying business? How are we rectifying these differences? If I'm telling you that there's certain things that I wouldn't condemn and I would have no hand in you trying to condemn, and there's certain things that you would do. If we were living in a community where we got along, as long as I was able to overlook somebody doing voodoo, we wouldn't get along. We just wouldn't get along. I wouldn't be okay with this, my next door neighbor doing voodoo.
Okay, so what does the voodoo have to do with you, though? If it's not on you and the voodoo's towards the colonizer, what's your problem with it?
I'm explaining. I'm gonna show you. Me and Jeremiah had the same conversation, right?
And it's voodoo.
Regardless, I don't know. Okay, so I don't kill me because I don't know the name of it. Okay, you can call it Mushu. You can call it Mushu. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. What's the since you want to say it's voodoo? What was it called before it was called voodoo?
I don't know.
It was called Yahweh. It was called Yahweh for the record, and that's in West Africa. I just want that on the record. Go ahead.
Is that me and Jeremiah had
a little information on that?
Hold on. Let Brother Kyle speak. Real quick.
It wasn't called Yahweh. Yahweh is one of the sub deities in the system. The main deity is Mama Lisa. And in voodoo, it's a dualistic system where it's multiple deities. Yahweh is a snake deity.
Of course. In Haiti, but see, you have to understand that West African voodoo and Haitian voodoo is different. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you. You have to understand. You understand?
Haiti is filled with Catholicism.
So the chief deity in Haiti is Dambala, which is Yahweh, which is the chief deity of the system. Now, when you're dealing with something in West Africa, that's different. But that's another talking point. Yahweh / Dambala being the chief deity when you actually understand that, and that's another parallel to Torah. I just wanted to put that out there, but go ahead, Cap.
No, so again, me and Jeremiah was having a conversation, and I brought up when we was just talking about how do we establish right from wrong. Of course, I threw out homosexuality. He says, "Hey, that's out." Hell no. I said, "Well, why?" He says, "Because it's not conducive."
No. Hold on. Let me explain.
No. Hold on. If I say something wrong and I misrepresent your point, then you can come. Let me explain my point.
Did. That's what I'm saying. You just did.
Hold on. Because the sister made a question. Me and you agreed that scratch what I said. Me and you agreed that homosexuality was not okay. So regardless of the details of what you said, me and you agreed it's not okay. I asked you why. You gave a reason. Right? You gave a reason. Regardless of what it was, we agreed that it was wrong. In your reasoning, I counter to say, well, what's wrong with the practice of it? Not just the lifestyle where a man only deals with a man and a woman only deals with a woman, which is going to affect, procreation. What about the practice? What if a man has a wife?
Like they
he
used to
produces kids, huh?
Like they do in Greece.
Exactly. A man has a wife. He creates kids. He reproduces, but occasionally, like someone will have a latte or, you know what I'm saying, go see a movie. This dude want to go lay down with another man. What you said that causes confusion.
Amongst the children.
It causes confusion. Hold on, real quick. So to answer the sister's point, what's wrong with somebody practicing voodoo, voodoo, yezve, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Macarena, whatever you want to call it. What's wrong with it is that I don't want my child exposed to it to possibly be carried over into that way.
Wait. Hold on, please.
As to why I don't want my neighbor doing that. So this is how.
Can I ask you a question, sir? Because what you were saying is very offensive, and it shows that you have no knowledge whatsoever of West Africa as a whole. Because what you were saying, you are making a correlation from some type of Greek and Egyptian culture to West Africa. And West Africa, wait, brother, wait. Oh, you just
if you feel that way, then you missed what I said. Go ahead.
I didn't catch. I know what you inserted.
It's an unequal comparison as well.
You led on. You made a comparison that voodoo is going to lead you into homosexuality, and that is the
wait. I can't believe you, bro. I can't believe you just said that. I said voodoo is going to lead you to homosexuality.
Why would you make that comparison?
Y'all, real quick. Let me explain something.
That's an unequal comparison, brother.
Hold on. Jeremiah. What I did was
not only did you not say that, but I actually. There's a whole documentary called Of Gods and Men where they have a segment of voodoo actually leading to homosexuality, certain rituals, for the record. But that's not what you said.
Real quick, before y'all even address that, hold on, I got you. Before y'all even address what Chief just said, I only brought homosexuality up is because me and Jeremiah had a conversation about it, and the conclusion was that it's going to breed confusion. I wasn't trying to draw a correlation that voodoo is going to lead you to homosexuality. I said me and Jeremiah had a conversation to where you can't be okay with any of it, and I agree with him that it's going to breed confusion. So the sister asked me a question as to why I would be against my neighbor practicing voodoo. It's because it's going to cause confusion for my child that can go into the way of voodoo, not homosexuality, but voodoo. If I want to raise my child,
but now remember earlier.
Thank you for clearing it up, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
But remember earlier when Brother Kyle brought up the theological supremacy, bro, Brother Kyle.
Yes.
Yeah, remember you brought that up, and that's what I'm kind of hearing. I'm kind of hearing that right now. That one is
again. I'm
above the other.
Up in a way that
I'm not kind of hearing it. We believe in theological supremacy, and every culture believes in theological supremacy. This fluid theology is very New Ageism, for the record. As somebody who's an adherent to a culture, you believe in your culture and you believe in the supremacy of your culture. That's why you went for it. That's something very ancient.
But why do we have to be? We don't have to do that, though. We don't have to.
Listen, you don't have.
Hold on. The fact that we're aware that can cause toxicity, it shows that we don't have to do that. We're aware of what it can cause. So why do it?
But didn't the sister just tell us that we need to put these books down and go back to the ways of West Africa?
Hold on. But she also cleared it up. She said, go ahead and believe what you want to believe in your heart. But when we come together, we need to put all that to the side.
And this is how we got back to this point. I made a statement about my neighbor practicing voodoo. She said, what does that have to do with me?
That's your neighbor, though, brother.
I understand that, bro. This is what I'm trying to get you to understand, that we all have to come together under a common ground. If I have to do what my neighbor is doing, it's going to cause conflict. Go ahead, Chief.
So would you rather? I'm sorry.
The slippery slope is here. Oh, that's your neighbor. Why are you worried about what your neighbor's doing? This is how we get here right now.
It's like you
that same idea.
Okay, when you go after we done, doing our business, you go home and pray. Some people, they go home and do voodoo. Well, you can't. We can't stop you from
So hold
praying.
Okay,
So
that's
okay,
fine.
okay. So can I ask?
Hold on.
Let me ask this one question, bro. Let me ask you one question.
We already do that though. Like what you guys are describing is something that's already it's already happening. You know
All right,
what
so
I'm
can
saying?
I just wanted to say this one thing.
Go ahead.
Is he so Brother Jordan, are you saying that it's okay for you to practice with your doctrine outside in front of their children?
No, because I wouldn't want to be around you.
Okay. So are you saying that y'all should just practice it in the house where it's not within vision or sight of the children?
I want you to understand that in us establishing a community and establishing a nation, I wouldn't want anyone with a conflicting ideology within the nation or within the community because it breeds confusion. Now, right now, because we just have to, I look at you, Jeremiah, Kayal, Asantewa, as an Israelite, regardless of where you guys look at it or not. So I'm going to respect you and treat you as such. So I have to, there's nothing that I could do. But in terms of all of us coming together as a conglomerate to establish a nation together, I would, like I said, this whole you do what you do up until a certain point. I said it only gets us so far, because if I do witness your window is open while my window is open and you're practicing your voodoo inside your house where my son can see you or where my daughter can see you or where my wife can see you, it's going to draw a problem. So
I've already answered that though. I said that we hold on. I said that we come together based upon fundamental principles and the fact that we have identical pressures. I said all that. So I don't know why you just went back to that.
Yeah,
because
and like this whole conversation, it
what I
seems
do
like
it outside of other people.
This
I
whole
don't think you
conversation
want
sounds like religious Bloods and Crips at this point. Like what we're doing is saying you can't walk by my block with your red flag on. Don't walk by here with your blue flag on.
When did I say? I don't know why you guys are just not are missing it.
No, brother, I'm not.
He said if we're going to build a nation, the nation needs to be on one accord. We don't need to have this person doing this or this person doing that. The nation's not conducive. He's not talking about right now.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is we need to come up with our own laws. So once again, back to my original statement, these books need to go. And we need to sit down and figure out what our laws are going to be. If the voodoo has to go away, the book has to go away, this law has to go away so we can focus on each other.
What's this, Chief? Right. Okay. So here's the thing. This is what me, Jeremiah, and Adonis did on the conversation a few days ago.
I knew it.
This is what we did. I'm glad that you did that. Now here's the thing.
Yeah, you gotta love this brother, man. He's funny.
Now watch this. Now
y'all start a goddamn caliphate, man. Y'all understand this?
What?
Y'all are trying to start a goddamn caliphate. You're trying to say everybody has to leave the same shit I believe.
Listen, that's like this, right? That's like this. That's like this. Me and the brother Kayel, right? Even though he with Ifa, but I don't have no problem with it, right? And we still cooperate together. It's no toxicity between us at all.
Jeremiah had me together.
Right. I was about to say me and brother Jordan. There was no toxicity.
Because
it was good.
But if
hold on. But check this out. Hold on. I need you to understand what brother Kayel's telling you, because that is what you're doing right now.
Okay.
You're that's why he made the analogy with the red flags and the blue flags.
I got you.
So how are we going to come together if you like, yo, nah, he on that voodoo stuff? That's wrong. Like what?
We can come together in the same way that you said, socioeconomically, commonality within the community. We do that all day. But when we're talking about the looking towards the frontier and true nationhood and nation building, that really ain't. That's really not going to be achievable with people of conflicting or variant ideologies.
So would you say? So are you saying? Hold on, brother Jordan. Hold on. So let's just get straight to the bottom of it, because I feel like that's what's going on.
Right.
Okay. So are you saying that the only way that we will nation build successfully is if we go by the Torah? Let's just get it out right now.
Wait. No, you're not gonna. Real quick. Chief, real quick. What you're not?
I'm saying, because I just want to get to the bottom of it, because I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
I got you. I'm fair.
Okay.
What I would do is what I would do is, if all 6 of us that's on this call right now, we came together as the 6 generals and the 6 heads to establish a nation, you got to understand I'm coming from my perspective. So if I'm coming from my ideology of the Torah, then that's going to be my input. So Asante,
now remember,
now about all of that, and she got to put her input in there. So you have to convince me as to what about the Torah or the principles of the Torah that we should let go, that's not okay.
All right, so no, I'm saying, hold on. I want to go back to something I said earlier, right? Because I say certain things, right? I say certain things, and I go. Hold on, real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
I say certain things, and then I go back to it, right? So now, Gorilla Hebrew, remember earlier I asked you if there is something that is toxic about the doctrine, right, or something that is conflicting with the people as a whole, as a collective whole, no matter what doctrine or whatever they deal with. You said that you would make the judgment call if need be to rid yourself of that.
Of course.
Right. So, but now hold on, Brother Jordan. Hold on, brother. Now, Brother Jordan is saying, hold on. Now, Brother Jordan is basically saying that we're gonna come to nation build. It's like our brothers are saying, to nation build, we have to be all doing the exact. We have to be all dealing with the exact same doctrine.
Yeah, if we want to establish a nation, ain't no other way to do it.
See, that's correct. This is what I'm saying. Hold on. So you're saying that in order for us to nation build, we have to have the same doctrine?
Can we build a nation with homosexuals?
Okay, look. Wait, hold on, bro.
Hold on, brother. There's gonna be hold on. Let's get this. Hold on. Let's get this understanding, brother.
It's trying to build a gay nation, bro. Like I don't think anybody is recommending that. No one has asserted that. Like, only person talking about gay shit is you. Like, we're not talking about homosexuals, bro. Like that shit.
We all disagree with homosexuals. So how are we gonna deal with conflicting ideologies, bro? That's a problem. I'm not gonna build no nation with no homosexual.
Hold on, brother. Hold on. Let's get this out. Let's get this out.
Brother, man, y'all need to have a one-on-one. You let everybody else talk, bro. Like what I'm saying is, if you are trying to build a nation, right? And you're gonna demonize these other cultures, I would probably recommend you knowing a little bit more about those cultures that you are demonizing, because you're making these wide generalizations that are completely incorrect.
What generalization did I make?
One thing that I would tell you, brother, and you just claimed that I'm getting to it, bro.
What generalization did I make? I'm getting to West Africa.
Listen, excuse me or something. What generalization did I make?
I'm trying to tell you, brother. And what I'm saying is, I would recommend, maybe Gorilla Hebrew or someone else who's more well studied on West Africa give you these comparisons between First Temple Hebrew culture and voodoo, so you can see that Hebrews did this same shit, because you're demonizing it, bro.
What did I demonize? You still ain't answered the question. What did I demonize?
You had a whole 15-minute spiel on voodoo and how terrible it is. No one else brought that up, but you did.
Wait. What did I say that was terrible about voodoo, brother? What did I say that was terrible about voodoo?
The analogy about the children and stuff like that.
I said I don't want my child practicing voodoo. Am I wrong for that? That's me.
No. You said you don't want the neighbors practicing it.
No. You're not even listening. If I said that I don't agree with voodoo, and I don't want my child practicing voodoo, am I demonizing it?
Brother, what does voodoo even mean? What is voodoo? Do you know what it means?
Listen. Voodoo is irrelevant. I know that I'm not going to practice voodoo.
The word in itself only means spirituality. So if you have a problem with someone practicing spirituality, then that is crazy.
Is there one spirituality, Kayal?
It's not just spirituality, though.
Is there one spirituality?
It is their cultural spirituality that they develop independently. Now, does
it differ from mine?
Without a colonizer.
I heard you. Does it differ from mine? Does voodoo differ from mine?
You claim to come from as a Hebrew Israelite came directly from the place where they practice voodoo. Are you aware of that?
Listen, Kayal. Does voodoo differ from my spirituality?
No, not in its original state.
I didn't ask about it in its original state. Either voodoo is okay according to the Bible, or it's not. You know where my spirituality stems from. So either
that's my contention on an academic level with Hebrew Israelites, because you subscribe to Second Temple Judaism rather than what the Hebrews actually believed at that point in time. We can go source for source on this. This is what I do. So if you want to go that route, we can go that route.
Right.
Kyle, you're missing the point, and the point is, and I already demonstrated the point that's wrong with voodoo, and that's dealing with idolatry, that's dealing with the veneration of a pantheon, and that's something that's contrary to Torah. So anytime,
so it's only wrong because of that.
Well,
I don't subscribe to it because of that, bro. Because you know that's what
in the Torah, brother. The first word in the Bible deals with a pantheon.
No,
it's not is a pantheon, my brother. It's called monotheism.
Kyle, you gotta listen. I said the veneration of a pantheon. Yes, of course. When you deal with the Hebrew culture, you're dealing with monolatrism or henotheism. You're dealing with that, right? But we're not dealing with the veneration of deities outside of the patron or the chief deity, which is the Lord God, Yahweh Tazabah, Yahweh Sabaoth, as they say. We're not dealing with the veneration of any other deity outside of that. So that's what I said. I said the veneration of the pantheon, not the pantheon. It's veneration.
And Kyle, you know that is contrary to the Bible. I don't have to sit up here and get into it with you on a scholastic level about what voodoo is and what it's not. You know, from the standpoint that I take, I don't care if it's something that I just made up in my backyard. If I tell you, Kyle, voodoo is contrary to my spiritual practices, I would not want to raise my kids in it, whether I know about it, whether I don't. My stance is that it's contrary. You want to talk about where voodoo that's irrelevant to the topic.
You don't understand, brother, because you have not studied enough into West Africa, that the reason why we even have this position is because your stance is more aligned with the Europeans that enslaved us. The reason why you are even enslaved is because of that. Matter of fact, you need me to read
explaining me one thing that the European enslaver taught me that I subscribe to.
The entire Bible, bro, like that was given to you by Europeans.
No.
Which Europeans? We tried to establish that earlier.
Hold on. He asked a very specific question. Somebody giving you something, right? And somebody teaching you something are two different things. So he said, what was taught to him by the European?
Okay, so you were taught monotheism. You were taught
not monotheistic.
We don't believe in monotheism.
That's fine. That's fine.
See, you'd have to listen. This is what Jeremiah did, and I explained this earlier. He was almost shocked based off of our perspective on things. So you'd have to go in and actually study the Hebrew Israelites. Or no, excuse me. You'd have to go in and study Sakari the same way you want me to study West Africa, and then figure that out, and you'd understand exactly where I'm coming from. I never made nothing derogatory, no derogatory statement about voodoo, unless you want to say that me not understanding the proper term voodoo, voodoo, or any of the rest of them as derogatory. I was just making a statement like, regardless, we know generally what I'm talking about voodoo. If I don't want to teach my child that, then that's my perspective, and that's my stance coming into the nation that we building. We disagree. We all recognize we disagree on something. So if we disagree, how do we fix it? You obviously, as long as I'm not doing it out in the open, you ain't got a problem with it.
No, the problem is, like, you don't have to teach your child voodoo. You could teach them science, mathematics. You could teach them be the Hebrew Israelite. You can teach them whatever you want to. But the issue comes is when you demonize someone else that looks just like you for practicing something that's making them better.
Did I do that though? I understand your point, but if I did that,
yes.
Did win?
Literally, look at y'all chat, bro. You got
wait. You said that I, Jordan, aka Captain Tazama or Cap Taz on here. You said I demonized something, and then you're telling me to go look at the chat. What the chat got to do with me, man? This is what we're trying to tell y'all.
Those are two separate statements. You personally, yes, you demonize voodoo. You don't know your culture. You don't know anything about Africa, and you are demonizing it. And then you got a chat room full of Negroes who don't know shit about Africa, who are taking the same stance.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
Hold on, man. I'm petitioning y'all to teach our followers about where the fuck they came from. Bro.
It should be really easy for you to explain where I demonized it. When did I demonize voodoo? Please.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
No, Jeremiah, I'm talking to Kyle. Kyle just accused me of something. So wait. Okay. You see how we have to? Do you see how we have to figure out right now? This is clearly the example of why letting everybody do what they do.
Now you playing the victim, bro. You playing the victim, bro. Yes, bro. You playing the victim, bro.
You're damn right, man. You so prove it. What did I do? How did I demonize it?
The first thing you did was you equated voodoo to leading as a gateway spirituality system to homosexuality.
And I'm prepared. I'm prepared right here on this live stream to call you a goddamn liar. You're a lying, dude. You are a bull-faced liar, bro. You said what?
I remember what was said.
So what was said?
You tried to say that the homosexuals had something to do with the voodoo.
Hey, no, listen, wait. Chief, don't even worry about it because all of this is taped. All of this is taped. You guys are forgetting like this is not taped. Lead
you to be a homosexual. That's
right. No, I'm glad you said that. And this is
Can I ask my question? Can I ask my question real quick?
He never said that. For the record, he never said that. He gave two analogies, but after it was said that he said that, referenced the documentary where you have practitioners of voodoo literally attest to a specific ritual that turned them homosexual. Just for the record, all right? It's called Of Gods and Men. Anybody can go watch it.
Man.
Can I ask one question real quick?
All right, hold on. Let me say something real quick.
This is an example.
He ain't said nothing. So let's just give it to him. And he got the same name as me. So just go ahead.
All right. So I know Jordan didn't say that voodoo was for fact. I know he ain't referenced that shit. I know that for sure. I know he didn't do that. Now
you know why? Because he was on the call with us, and I appreciate you, brother. Man.
Yeah, so like what he said for voodoo was that fact if he had a next door neighbor that was doing voodoo with the window open, that he didn't want his child to see that and to witness that and to possibly practice it. That's what I remember him saying, something about that, something about his child.
That's exactly what I said.
So you were saying,
approve. Hold on. Then he said he didn't approve of faggots, or I'm saying faggots like a bundle of sticks, but he didn't approve of homosexuality. He said he don't approve of that junk. So like, I don't approve of it. I don't think anyone on this platform right now approve of homosexuality. So we could just cancel that whole conversation out about that, because the Bible don't condone it. I don't condone it. I don't think no one on this platform condone it. So that whole conversation about homosexuality is out the fucking window. We could just cancel that conversation because that's done.
Adonis, do you remember the conversation me and Jeremiah had on that matter?
About homos?
Right. When I asked him, because in establishing, okay, right. Like I said, for the record, I only brought it up because the brother concluded that it draws confusion where if our children are to witness this, that they can go over into the practice. So the fact that he recognizes it as confusion and that practice could bleed over into the younger generation because they are impressionable is the same way I can recognize that my child can be impressionable and bleed over into the practice of voodoo.
So hold on, wait, hold on. Let me respond. Let me respond real quick. Let me respond. So that's why the reason why I bring that up is because that's not an equal comparison to compare that to voodoo. Hold on. Wait. Hold on, brother. Give me a second.
Dude, you barking up the wrong tree again.
Hold on. I see what you're saying. You're saying you don't want your children to see somebody practicing voodoo and it causes confusion in them. So I have a question for you, though. Is your belief more important than your people?
Is my belief more
important than your people? Then is it more important than us right here?
It's a good.
Our people. No, I'm sorry. Our people.
Here's the thing.
That's a great question.
Hold on.
Very great question.
Okay, you guys gonna keep validating the question? My belief is in the Most High God, who we would call Yahweh, right? And His Son Yahweh Shai. So I would definitely think that they are the most important. They come first. A soldier.
This is where it becomes a conflict. This is right here.
Jeremiah, here's the silver back off of the brother's point. Here's the issue.
And I'm walking with you, brother Gorilla Hebrew. I'm walking with you. I'm trying to walk with you here.
I got you. So in right, we from California, right? So in the gang world in California, it's something called nobody is bigger than the program, right? No one individual that's a part of this is bigger than the program. Meaning, if you violate any of the rules and regulations of the quote unquote program, it don't matter who you are, it don't matter how people feel about you, you're getting X'd out the picture, period, right? So you could be the most loved nigga in your hood, but if you snitch, you gotta go, right? Because you have betrayed this institution, right? That used to be the rules. These rules have been watered down. Now snitches can do anything. Now you can go and tell white people to lock up your own people, right? Because of however you feel, and nothing happens to you because people feel some type of way about you. This is what happens when the program is not held and felt as if it's more important than the people that are participating in the program, because the program itself is what is benefiting these people. These people are not going to be able to benefit and prosper is it not for the program.
So does our program have to be okay?
That's how the Italians, that's how every group of people has been able to establish themselves and prosper is through putting the program before the people for the greater good of the people. So of course the program comes before the people.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, hold on, but we're not exactly in that position because we're not all dealing with the same thing. So that brings me back to my question again: is your belief more important than your people? If you see that some type of supremacist stance you have with your belief is causing a toxicity amongst the people.
Of course not, because what again you have to understand is if it wasn't for the belief, we might not even care about the people as much if it wasn't for the belief. There's no guarantee of that. There's no guarantee that you have an unconditional love for a certain segment of people without the belief. There's no guarantee of that.
I mean, there's people that get introduced to the belief and they still completely toxic.
Listen, but being toxic and not having a care, you have to understand some of this behavior that we would characterize as toxicity is still coming from a place of love. This person may be misunderstood, or this person may not be able to express themselves, but this person wants you and is so adamant about you converting because they feel like it is the only thing that
and
truly.
That's the supremacy thing we were talking about earlier, brother.
It's not just, but it is a supremacy thing, and it's fine because I'm a doctrinal supremacist, but that does not mean that I can't deal with anybody. But you have to understand that all this is deeply rooted in a mutual care and compassion for a group of people that is not.
And like as I said earlier, I don't attribute that to your belief. That's you. I see you, Gorilla Hebrew. I see you, Jordan. I don't see your belief. But
I can say that I've always cared about my people in general, right? I've always care.
And
but
you're right. That's not.
Everybody
knows, and we understand. I understand life. I understand choices, diversity. I understand all of that. I understand that. But what I'm saying is what we're talking about right now, I need an answer as to what is more important, your people or your belief, because you kind of already gave me an answer. You're saying your belief, and you're saying because it's coming out of passion. Okay, I respect the passion. I respect the love and the care for our people. But it is in the sense that you're saying that your way is the only way. Now I feel like I'm back in church.
Well, the thing about church is church doesn't even really teach that. So there lies the problem. We have to understand that absent of a strict disciplinary system, there's not a group of people.
No, I was saying in reference to the whole that this is the only way type of thing.
Well, yeah, but going back to the program that I referenced, when we deal with every other group of people that's ever existed, how they furthered themselves was through having that strict program, and there was not one person who was an exception to violation of that program. That's how it works. So to think that's why the belief or the quote unquote program is so important, because that's what's going to further the people is adherence to that. People are not going to be loosely associated with each other and truly advance without strict adherence to a program.
So can we put the specific doctrines to the side and come together and establish something based upon what the sister was saying, based upon what I was saying and Brother Kyle was saying, to just come together and deal with something that is a basic thread amongst our people that we need to implement so that our people can cooperate and we can have a conducive lifestyle.
Of course, and nobody's against that, but what the contention is when we're talking about actually establishing our own sovereign nationhood, that's where the conflict is going to come in. We can
But
build.
why though? I need to understand. I'm really trying to understand as to why. Because listen, you talked about you said you're basically saying it has to come up underneath Torah.
Of course, because any nation has a constitution and rules and regulations that it substantiates itself by. In the United States, everyone has to adhere to the consequences, right? And it's like
remember,
that.
you know how y'all bring up instances how the white man comes together and he don't deal with all the same thing.
No,
right?
but he deals with the same. Here's the problem, though.
No, he deals with the fact that he needs to keep African people enslaved, and that's what brings him together.
Of course, but they have rules. They have rules. They have regulations. Hold on. They have a Senate. They have.
You're right. I didn't mean to bring that up like that. You're right.
They have all this stuff, right? That governs them and how they operate. Hebrew Israelites are put in a religious box, but we're the laws, the statutes, and the civics and economics that are in the Torah that build a nation, because the Torah was given to a nation to go and build a nation.
So are our people not intelligent enough to do it ourselves?
I'm not saying that we're not intelligent enough to do it ourselves, but what I'm saying is we've already done it. It's already been given to us by our God. We left it. That's why we're here. So in order for us to get back where we need to be, we need to come back to what we forsook and got us in this position in the first place.
But like, if it didn't work 3,000 years ago, why do you think it'll work now in a more modern society?
When did it not work? People stopped following it, so things happened because we didn't follow it. But it never not worked, and the Jewish man is proof of that today.
It's not about that stuff not working and stuff, brother. We didn't get snatched up because of nothing in the Bible. We got brung over here by force.
It was told in the Bible that it would happen thousands of years before it occurred. So
you're saying that's referring to us when it talks about these ships. You're talking about Deuteronomy chapter 28, right?
Of course.
Have you ever read the Sheridan Vassal Slave Treaties?
Of course.
So being that you know that wasn't original for Deuteronomy 28, and it was from the Assyrians to the people who lived in Israel and the Moabites and these different people, how are you making that yourself personable to that text?
Because the book of Deuteronomy got that by centuries. So that's not true. That's an act. Deuteronomy had that by centuries.
I'll give you $500 to show me a book of Deuteronomy that came before the Assyrian captivity.
The Kibra Kiafa inscription. The Kibra Kiafa inscription. Come on. I did this on Sonnet TV 7 years ago. TV 7 years ago. Y'all should know better than this.
Brother, it does not. I need to see this. It does not predate the Syrian captivity, and you know that we don't have anything from Deuteronomy.
The Kibra Kiafa inscription is 1,000. Hold on, I'm not done. The Kibra Kiafa inscription is 1,000 AD. Right, that's centuries before the Assyrian captivity. Thank you. That was 7 years ago. All right,
brother. But it's not Deuteronomy though. That's what I'm saying.
Listen, go watch Guerrilla Hebrew, Time to Show and Prove on Sunday TV, or you can watch it on our channel because I just re-uploaded it about last month because everybody forgot all the stuff that came off of there, like the Kibra Kiafa inscription. Go ask Garfield when I asked him about the Kibra Kiafa inscription. He had to put his microphone down, go off, research it, and then then acted like I never even brought it up because it cut his point so much. Y'all just don't understand that. So if I get that cash out for 500, I appreciate it, brother.
And again, I'm asking you, brother, is that the book of Deuteronomy like you just inserted?
Yes, the Kibra Kiafa inscription is Deuteronomy on pottery. Like I learned from my studies with pottery, you always got to go back to the pottery. The pottery is the most ancient artifacts with any civilization. We got the book of Deuteronomy inscribed in pottery 1000 BCE. We got that. We've been had that. We've been presented this to the world.
Okay. Hey, send me the link. I'll send you the $500 if it's verifiable. I ain't tripping.
Okay. All right, Kyle.
I'm dead serious. Post it in the chat or something.
So now, how do you why? So are you saying that you're those people though?
How am I saying that I'm those people?
So
With
you telling me that people from way back, hold on. You're telling me from people from way back then said to themselves, yo, I know we about to be put on these ships. That's what you're telling me, right?
I don't think people said anything to anybody. I think that God said it to people. That's what I think.
Hold on, but they wrote it in pottery, and I know as far as y'all concerned, God ain't coming down here and he don't got no hands and stuff like that.
No, it does. What does that mean? Does that take if
So
you
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So people knew. So hold on.
Say something to me, no. If you say something to me and I write it down, but you said it, does that mean you didn't say it because I wrote it down?
No, I'm saying so. Exactly. No. Look. I'm saying look. I'm saying people wrote it. I'm saying hold on. Brother, I'm saying that people wrote it.
Intelligence of everyone on this panel, so don't do that.
No. I'm not. I'm saying people wrote it down, right? No, hold on, bro. Let me explain real quick.
I heard what you asked them. It's a contingency. They didn't just say, "Oh, we know we're gonna go into it." No, it was a contingency. If you disobey, then this will happen. If you don't disobey, the opposite is going to happen. So it was a contingency plan or program when it was written. So no, nobody just sit up here and say, yeah, I'm going to write this down because I received some revelation from a higher power. And say, hey, y'all going to go in here.
So I need to, all right. Okay. So this is what I'm saying. You're telling me that a group of people, based upon certain mistakes that you're saying that they would make these things, they would make these, if they made these, such and such mistake, that this would happen, right? Right? That's what you're saying?
Correct.
So you're telling me also that these same people who wrote that and who knew about that, who wrote this text, who are the makers of this text, right? Due to the different messages or whatever they got from this being, that they knew this would happen. They knew they wrote the text. They wrote the text. But then somebody took the text and then tricked them with their own book that they wrote, that they knew they wrote, and then they just forgot who they are?
No, because they didn't know that they wrote the book. Come on now,
they didn't know that they wrote the book?
You just misrepresented our ideology severely.
No. Okay, so I'm saying but they know that these people knew who they were, but then all of a sudden they got tricked by the same doctrine they've been going by?
No one said that. They weren't going by the doctrine. They hadn't followed that doctrine in quite some time by the time that the transatlantic slave trade happens. As I talked about
so in West Africa, they weren't following that.
No. We already talked about it. I said there might have been some traces of it in some of the practices and similarities, but we certainly, by and large, were not at all adhering to Torah in West Africa. No.
So they got punished. So they got punished for not following a belief.
Are you familiar with the narrative of the Bible, Jeremiah?
Yeah, but I'm saying, I'm just asking different questions here, though. I'm just saying, so they got punished for not following a belief?
They got punished for not doing what their forefathers entered into covenant to do.
Listen, that stuff is, look, y'all can hit somebody else with that, but that's just not making no logical sense.
Because you're deliberately.
Hold on. What's illogical about that?
To say that a being gave people this message and that these people knew that this would happen, and then because they didn't follow a belief or a covenant or whatever y'all want to call it, that you put people into this position.
Okay, so if I tell you that if you steal, you're going to jail, and then you go to jail, is that illogical? Because that's what you just literally told me is illogical.
No, that's not the same. Hold on. That is something natural. And what you're talking about is supernatural.
Hold on. See, every time you get called on your bullshit, brother, you repackage what you're saying. You said a being. Well, a human being can tell you, don't go steal or else you're going to go to jail. And if you steal and you go to jail, it's literally what you just said. But now you want to repackage.
Okay, so I'm going to say spook God. I mean, would y'all rather me say spook God?
Listen, can you explain how anything exists?
What do you mean, can I explain how anything exists?
Can you explain how anything exists?
This is existence. That's what it is. This is nature.
So how does it exist? How does nature exist? How does existence exist?
Nothing's causing it causing existence. Existence is what it is.
You know what's crazy? What does Yahweh mean, Jeremiah?
I don't know for y'all. I'm gonna be hold on. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest because brothers say so many different things.
You just said it. No. You've said plenty. It
No.
means
I'm not. I wasn't about to say anything. I said brothers say so many different things.
You pulled your gun out and shot yourself in the foot with it.
How?
But who's illogical? I just showed you how. Mr. Logic and Rationale, I just perfectly, very rudimentarily demonstrated to you how you pulled your gun out and shot yourself in the foot with it.
How?
Here's why. You said existence is just existence. It just exists. And the same.
No, I said nothing is causing existence. We are just existence. That's what it is.
You said existence is existence. It just exists. Nothing is causing existence. In the same breath that you think it's illogical to believe in existence, because
so what is causing your God to exist? What made your God?
He is existent. So, like you said,
see what I'm saying? Hold on. Now I'm asking you again. What caused your God? Who created your God?
He is existence. Therefore, he just exists.
Okay, so the same way you just tried to say to me, and this is where I'm gonna get you at.
Go ahead.
It's what you're gonna do is send yourself through a illogical warp hole constantly, because you're looking for something to make this, and then hold on. And logically, I'm going to continue to ask, well, what made that? Well, then what made that? Well, then what made that?
No, but I just did the same thing to you, and you just gave me the same answer.
No, brother, hold on. It's because you know why? Because I understand if you keep asking yourself what made that or what made that, it's going to be illogical.
Jeremiah, how do we exist?
You mean how do we exist?
Yeah, how do we exist?
Were you birthed through your mother?
How does she exist?
Was she birthed through her mother?
So now you just went through the same illogical wormhole that you just said that I'm
No, I didn't. Hold on. That's when we have to get into the conversation about evolution. But I know y'all don't want to get into that conversation.
Jeremiah, you just told me that if I answer the question the way I did, you're going to just go through a wormhole and asking me questions. I just asked you a question. Now we're going through a wormhole and asking the same question.
No. Not. We're going to talk about evolution and all those different things. But hold on. So hold on. No. So what I'm showing you is that you made an unequal comparison, brother. Hold on. I asked you a question, right? I said I asked you a certain question, then you rebutted and you said, okay. How do we exist? I said nothing caused existence. This is just existence. Then you brought up your God. So then I said, okay, well, what made your God? And you said nothing made your God. So that's illogical. I'm not illogical. I just understand to stop looking for something that made the circle and understand this is a circle.
This is the problem, Jeremiah. You're not listening. I said the name of my God, what it means is existence. So if you said there's nothing that's causing existence, I agree. There is nothing that causes existence, because from the Hebraic perspective, God is existence. You're not.
So then I'm asking you, hold on. So you're saying that your God is not outside of creation?
Of course, he's outside of creation. He had
exactly. That doesn't make no sense.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
That makes no logical sense.
So is existence creation?
You said is existence creation?
Yeah.
It's one and the same.
Are we in the same boat?
Existence. Hold on. And what we call in creation, hold on. And what we hold on. And I don't hold on. Let me get this straight too. Let me get this straight too. I don't subscribe to creationalism.
That's
so
fine.
you would probably hold on. That conversation you would probably have to take to somebody else.
How did the earth come to be?
Do you study science?
It depends on what.
Enlighten.
I'm asking you a question. So we do understand now from science that suns create solar systems. We understand that already.
Prove to me that there's such a thing as a solar system.
You're not in a solar system?
No, prove it.
Come on, brother. See, this is what I'm talking about.
Jeremiah.
Listen, man. This is what I'm talking about. This is the unequal comparisons all over. This is the backfire effect.
Hold on.
This is definitely the backfire effect, man.
About, right? You just told me we're in the solar system. I'm supposed to just believe that? Prove it to me.
I didn't say that. Study it. Okay, go seek for yourself. Go seek for yourself.
Hold on, brother. You just said we understand through science that suns create solar systems, right? Can you show me any sun outside of the one that you see every day when you go outside in the daytime?
You said, can I show you one?
Show me one.
I can't show you one like this, but we do have telescopes that do.
Hold on. Have you ever personally looked in
Man
the
has
telescope?
evolved. Man has evolved. We don't
Jeremiah,
have to wonder. We don't have to wonder
Jeremiah,
and do wishful thinking anymore.
Jeremiah, have you ever looked in the telescope and seen a sun outside of the one that's in that you see every day on Earth?
No, and I don't need to.
Well, exactly, because you just believe whatever the white
You
man
believe
told
it because you believe it.
You believe whatever the white man told you. It's perfect. Kyle, you good whether you believe it or not. You don't
And they want that source. They want that source. They said they didn't get it from wherever.
It's the Kibra Kiafa inscription. I appreciate everybody for coming on, but this brother is out of his rabbit mind. See, that's my stuff. We're wrong because we believe in the Bible and we believe about a God creating things. But he just told me that I have to believe that we understand that suns create solar systems, but he personally has never seen the sun outside of his own so-called solar system. How do we understand that?
He's never seen the sun create a solar system.
Listen, y'all, let me tell you so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians something.
That's right.
You have a God. His name is Yahweh. He gave your ancestors this. You discontinue from following this, so you're in this position. The only way out of this position is to look within yourself and begin to follow what your God gave you. That's it. That's all. That was the point of that, and I believe that was clearly demonstrated by everybody. Now, as Hebrew Israelites, can I link with my brother who does not believe in this doctrine? Sure, we do it all the time. Like these brothers said, some of the information that I'm bringing out on this, I know because I done studied with Uncle Keck, who called himself the real black atheist. That's my dude, right? Other dudes, Garfield, all of my dudes. These are my dudes. I'll break bread with them. I'll kick it with them. Listen, we can put together socioeconomic planning. We can do community outreach. We can do all that. But at the end of the day, I know what I am teaching my people. This is what I am teaching my people through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. There's never been anything better. Or else we just supposed to believe this is the colonizer's book, but the colonizer told you about a solar system. That's why I ask these questions. What is a solar system? How prove that there's a solar system? Because I know I walk outside, I look up, I see sun, moon, stars revolving around me. I don't see vice versa. Call me crazy, but I don't see it with my own eyes, nor has anyone ever showed me anything outside of that with a telescope. It's madness. But it's been 2.5 hours. Hope y'all were edified. Hope y'all got something out of this. I believe it was a worthwhile convo up to the end. Our brother Jeremiah, man, he's big up on the panel. The sister Shariah, I'm gonna still call her by her Hebrew name. That's my girl. She know that, man. Adonis Creed, you got the same name as me, so just salute to you. Period. That's for those of y'all that don't know. That's my government. That's the name my father gave me. You know what I'm saying? The brother Kyle, I definitely mess with him. Very logical, cool brother. Definitely don't gotta run me 500. He could be as wrong as whatever. I'm not gonna take 500 from the brother, man. That's you know what I mean. We need that. Listen, we all need that, right? So it's all good, man. But much love to y'all. Hope y'all were edified. Cap, anything in closing?
Nah, man. I think we demonstrated the point. You know what I'm saying? If we don't come together on a common ground to establish right from wrong in a civil society, it's gonna be the same chaos that we've seen amongst the Black community, the Hispanic community, Native Indian community. Everybody's operating on their own accord, and we can see this time and time again in the scriptures. It's destructive, and that is what allowed the so-called white man to come in and to take us by force, kidnap us, load us upon ships, buy us, whatever perspective you're coming from. What allowed that is because everybody is coming from their own point of view. You say, let's attack them from the left. Somebody else say, let's attack them from the right. All the while we trying to figure out which way to attack them, they're attacking us. And that's the point. So the fact that we can't come together is why, again, it's going to have to be a supernatural phenomenon, which is going to be established by something outside of ourselves, objective, and he's going to come in and establish his reign, his rule, and his precepts. So that's all I have for that. And again, that's the point. Anytime you're having a conversation with anybody that's objective to the scriptures, what understanding are we coming to? What understanding are we going to unify on? Everybody keeps using these words: unify, unify, unify. How do we do that? And we don't even agree on basic laws and principles. You're telling me that
exactly. So the unification is we can unify to a point, but there's a point where it stopped. Like you said, sometimes we all go go home and do whatever we do. Unification gotta go before that. You know what I'm saying? Unification. I mean, we gotta do unification into there. The sister says she's moving to Africa. Hey, that's dope. I know people that's repatriating. I know that there's a lot of people who repatriated to Africa who are urging people not to, though. Right? So I'm not gonna say whether you should or you shouldn't, but I know that brothers I know personally who have looked into it, and people who have actually moved and lived in Africa for 5, 6, 7 years or whatever are urging us not to because they feel like they're exploiting those of the diaspora. Listen, you can go to move wherever you want. That's cool. You can go anywhere in the world, right? I'm not telling nobody not to do anything. I don't have anything against Africa at all. I mean, I know that there's a great deal of our people that still remain in Africa. So if that's what you want to do, cool. But I know a lot of people are saying, don't go because they're trying to exploit us. That's what I have heard, right? But I also heard people have positive experiences. So I don't know. It's on you. Go ahead, though, Cap. Select it.
Now, again, they got mad because I kept bringing up homosexuals. Again, everybody on here disagree with homosexuals, but you cannot sit up and tell me you'd be okay living next to one and just allowing him to be a homosexual. You just won't do it. They feel like I'm making that as a comparison. It's not a comparison. It's just the fact that we all disagree with it, and nobody is going to say that that's okay. The difference is that on what base or what platform are you going to say he's wrong? I have one. You don't, other than your own personal opinion. So if it's your personal opinion versus the homosexual personal opinion, then who's right and who's wrong? You're going to have your justification. He's going to have his. I'm saying I'm coming from an objective point of view, saying God told me, and it is what it is. Simple and plain. Ain't no way around it. So until we understand
look, Cap, existence told me.
Hey,
you want to call him existence? Call him again. It's what his name means.
Exactly.
Yahweh.
Exactly.
He exists. The self-existent one, right? So existence says, don't do this if you want to keep existing, man. And that's why I'm glad that he used that terminology. It's like, oh, perfect existence. Yes.
Through the spirit. And like I said, man, like brothers can only kind of, play this peace thing for so long. Because when I really start to push the line as to how I feel about, my point and what I stand on, you recognize we don't agree. So I'd have to continuously walk around suppressing myself. But then your objective, your mode of operation is for me to get back and to be myself. I'm saying myself is according to these precepts in this book. But now it's toxicity. Like I should follow Jeremiah, or I should follow Kayaf, or should follow Asantewa. She said we should just focus on ourselves. I think that's a problem. So
yeah, everyone just gonna do. We gotta say, can you give me that precept, please? Everyone did what was right in their own eyes. Just please. We really was just dealing with logic, because y'all gotta understand. Sometimes when you talk to people who are not adherents to scripture, you gotta walk them back to it, as opposed to just start hitting them with it off top. You walk them back to it. Asante, while we know, listen, we know. All right, that doesn't change that we're Hebrew Israelites, though. Because the term Africa is not a term that politically even deals with that. We talking about biblical nationality, right? So that's entirely different than it's just what I'm looking for.
You want it? I got it right here.
Go ahead. That's what I want. Go ahead.
It's two of them. There's one in Deuteronomy. It says, "Ye shall not do after all the things." Deuteronomy 12:8. Salah. Deuteronomy 12:8. Ye shall not do after all the things that we do here this day. Every man whatsoever is right in his own eyes. This is Torah.
That's the problem. When people and it's telling us this, and it's some people may look at that like, oh, that's a problem. You're not realizing that when everyone just does whatever the hell they think is right, that's what a problem is. That's why we're here right now, because everyone just do whatever they feel and they think is right. That's the issue. So that's what we have to stop doing, and we all have to submit ourselves and say, okay, this is the thing we're gonna follow. This is what we're gonna do. You feel me? And that's it.
Look, like I said, that's what lacks unity. The word unity means the state of being united or joined as a whole. We're not whole. We're literally Swiss cheese. There's holes in our, in what we're trying to build and what we're trying to come together at. Because all it takes is for one outsider to come and say, man, that dude, he don't You know what I mean? He don't believe this and the third. I seen him doing whatever. You like, wait, what do you mean? Because according to them, you gotta be 21 years. Excuse me, not all of them, because all of them they wouldn't give me a date. But I know for the brother Adonis, he says a woman has to be 21 years old. So I'm like, okay, well, if a brother is, under 20, I mean, if a sister's under 21, she's 19, your standards got to be 21. He's saying, well, as long as it's in close relation, either it's the standard of 21 or it's not. Again, that's when you start to make it your own, however you see it, however it makes it feel to you. You can't do that. It's either it's the standard or it's not. Either it's according to what.
Hey, look, and if that's how you want to make the standard, then let's do it.
And let's do it. We can't deviate from that when it's personal.
And let's not falter.
Exactly.
See, that's the thing too. What people have to understand: we got the Torah. We can't do anything contrary to the Torah. But if you wanted to enact rules and say, okay, this is how we govern ourselves here, as long as it's not in conflict with the Torah, that's cool. If you want to say the age of consent is 21, nigga, then let's do it. Okay. If all of us collectively can say, okay, that's cool, there ain't nothing wrong with that. But the thing is, are you going to be strict enough to say, no, G-Con, it ain't necessarily that. It's just I'm asking people to prove the things that they say. If you go and say that there's solar systems and all this stuff, you got to prove it to me. Period. Because I ain't seen no proof of it, and the scriptures don't speak about all of this stuff people be talking about. So empirically prove it to me scientifically, not just because somebody said it. See, he laughed at that idea because he's like, he doesn't realize questioning the white man is crazy to him. He don't realize that yet. See, he thinks that the white man gave us the Bible. The white man been trying to get rid of the Bible for a long time. That's why he banned it out of schools. He been trying to get everyone on this pseudoscience. That's what he wants everyone to transition into, right? Whether people realize it or not. Salakia.
Damn, man, I can't. It's so funny, man, because like I said, this is how the whole invite started for them to even come on. And when he gets on, then it's, oh, we'll go look it up. They didn't even believe. You see the way that the brother your call kind of pressed you. Show me anywhere. I give you $500, and then you told him, and it was just like, damn. Not to say that me objective, not to say that Chief was right or the brother was right, but he was so pompous and so proud. And then when the Chief quotes something, you had never even heard of it. It's one thing for you to know about what we teach and what we subscribe to, for you to be ready to pop against it. Like, nope, I already went into that. And I got proof as to disprove it. You can't be so proud and you don't even know what we teach.
Yeah, no, just like he said, oh, y'all got to study West Africa more. Some people study West Africa and some don't. You ain't got to. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Some brothers may be more inclined to it. You see what I'm saying? So in studying what I've studied and studying who we are as the Israelites and studying the migration of the 12 tribes, of course, it naturally led me back to West Africa, the same way I know about pre-Columbian America.
Right.
I had a zeal to study that, right? But he's faulting you for not studying West Africa and understanding voodoo enough. But it's like, damn, brother, you don't even understand our paradigm. Like I said, I dropped that on Sunday TV. That's my second video on Sunday TV ever. That's what I dropped, right? And that was, if it wasn't 7 years ago, it was 6. My second video ever on Sunday was me going into the Key Alpha inscription. That's why, but see, and I learned, I didn't learn about that inscription from dealing with Unk, but I learned from dealing with Unk the importance of pottery in antiquity. And when somebody go to the pottery, you got to checkmate on somebody because, nigga, I got the pottery. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing older than the pottery.
So like I said, that's how it came out. They like, oh, proof. None of your people, none of the people in your book existed. Where's the proof? Where's the proof? Where's the proof? I said, let's go on live and we'll give you the proof. So then when he gets on live and we ask him for proof, which according to his statement, when somebody asks me for proof, I give him proof. Now it's crickets for y'all. And my whole time, I'm like, let's go on live. Now you brother asks you for proof, you tell him, well, go research it. Damn, bro. Damn, bro.
I at least referenced something in antiquity to say that the book of Deuteronomy pre-existed the stuff with Assyria. I at least went into it. At least it's the Kibra Kiafa inscription. I posted the link. All you gotta do is type in Guerrilla Hebrew time to show and prove, and you'll be able to find it. Just go watch the video. I show it on the video. The Kibra Kiafa inscription. It's not spelled like how you sound. It's like KHIBRETQUEIF. It's something to that effect. I couldn't even tell you off the top of my head. but it's something like that. But if you go on there, I show it on the video so you can look at it there, right? But I want to show this real quick to my point with my brothers out of the east side of Long Beach. He said it best right here.
They go DW right here, bro. I've been noticing there's a pattern of niggas snitching and niggas hanging out with snitches, brothers, sisters, cousins. I'm not saying niggas got to get dealt with. Ain't nobody bigger than the program.
You hear that? Niggas hanging out with snitches, niggas, brothers, sisters, cousins, call insane. Ain't nobody bigger than the program. That's it. You feel me? If somebody's perpetrating against the program, listen, that's the point. That's what we got to get back to. This is a problem within our communities, within the communities, within our communities. It's a problem of going against the grain and going against the rules, man. Rules are so beautiful, man. Rules are so powerful. Rules make people great, right? They made everybody great, and we want to run from rules.
That's right. So we could justify. We could justify ourselves, man.
So every man could do what is right in his own eyes.
In his own eyes, and it's the Torah says, "Do not do such a thing." That's what it is a problem. That is a problem. I can't even be me now. Exactly. Don't be you. All right. Especially
something might be wrong with you. You ever think about that? Something might be wrong with you.
Well, what they would say is at the start of their journey of being enlightened and awakening and you know what I mean, developing, then yeah, it was a problem. But where they're at now, they don't see no problem. You know what I mean? And again, it's not conducive.
You're also looking at you also don't want to stunt your growth, because that's the danger of that. Like he said, damn, like, do I feel like the scriptures has helped me and I feel like I don't need it? Like, no, I don't, and I never feel like that. Because I know that I'm looking in this book all the time and I'm seeing new stuff. There you go. Sergeant Shamar got it. Right? Sergeant Shamar got it. And if y'all are not reading in the Hebrew, you're not going to be able to deal with the Kibra Ki from inscription. I want to tell y'all that now. That's high level archaeology. So if you're not going to be able to do a side by side in Paleo Hebrew, all right, y'all ain't going to just be able to hit people with that if you don't know how to deal with the Paleo Hebrew. I'm going to just keep it a buck with y'all. That's why I said watch the video where I show the side by side and show you that it's the book of Deuteronomy. Because if you go look at your if you Google it up, it ain't going to say the book of Deuteronomy. But when you go watch the video and I show the side by side in the Hebrew, it's Deuteronomy. All right. So I just want everyone to understand that's not just a give me source. That's a source for brothers who are astute and know how to at least decipher Paleo Hebrew.
Oh, they're gonna be mad about that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. But like you said, man, ain't nobody bigger than the program. What we gotta understand. But with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai and say Shalom.
Shalom.